Before we get into this episode, we want to remind you that we've still got some tickets left for our tour in May.
We shall be starting in Belfast, making our way around the country, ending up in London for some very lovely shows. So make sure you go to theuselesshotline.com or just click the link in the description to get some tickets.
And keep your eye out for some special guest announcements for the London shows. Ooh. Hello, I'm Max Balegde.
And I'm George Clarke, and welcome to the Useless Hotline. TikTok wasn't working out for us, so we decided to set up our own little business.
We did indeed, and the Useless Hotline is a place where we help you with your queries, no matter how weird, disgusting, or embarrassing they are.
But it won't always just be us. Some weeks we're joined by a special little guest.
Oh,
particularly little this week.
We've got a big one and a little one. They're going to be joining us quite soon. But until then, George, what have you been up to?
I've actually been doing some work.
Right, shut up. Okay. I firstly need to address that I don't have a cold sore anymore. So thank you. Zoom in. I look beautiful.
What the hell is that on your lip then?
It's a little mark from my cold sore. Anyway, moving on. And if you watched the last episode, then George challenged me to do the what's it called?
There's a Gymshark challenge called the Gymshark 66 where you have to work out every day for 66 days. Now, we challenged Max to do 20 minutes of exercise a day, which is on the low end of an exercise.
Right, I just want to say
out of time. And we are this is the 8th day?
Yeah.
So he's done 7 days of working out. One of which was an 18-minute bodyweight exercise.
Yeah. What does bodyweight exercise mean?
It doesn't matter. It wasn't 20 minutes long. The second flag for me was a 20-minute walk.
Right.
And then after the 20-minute walk, on that day saying we won't be doing any more walks, the next day was a 40-minute walk.
And guess what? Today will be a walk as well, because I am an extremely busy person. I have a lot going on. I am on the go.
Yeah, you can't take 20 minutes out of your day.
No, I cannot. No, I can't.
To do more than a walk.
A walk.
We're 7 days in,
you're gonna compare
and three of the exercises have been questionable.
Listen, if you're going to compare it to what I was doing in my life before this Gymshark 66 thing, a 20-minute walk is definitely a worthwhile exercise.
Okay.
And I personally think that I should be allowed a little bit of leeway here and there. Like
You've been
today,
giving your leeway.
Today,
now on.
No, today I am not able to go to the gym. I can't factor it into my day. I'm working until 11 p.m. this evening, and I'm going to the airport early tomorrow, so I can't factor it in.
When you get back, little 20-minute run.
No, 20
Why
minutes.
not?
I'll get stabbed.
What do you mean?
Where do you live? 20-minute run.
20-minute run on the spot. Do laps of your house. You got a big enough one now?
No, I don't. I will die. No, I can't. I
treat
can't.
Andrew for some 20 minutes of exercise.
So instead, alternatively, what I'm doing. Oh my god! Today, what I'm doing alternatively is doing a work call on a 40-minute walk. I think that is sufficient, and I think that works.
I will allow a 40-minute walk.
Oh, brilliant.
Maybe like once a week.
No!
You can't be doing all of your exercises being walks.
Exercise is exercise. This was not stipulated in the initial agreement of the 66-day challenge.
Neither was you failing on day 3 doing an 18-minute exercise when you're meant to be doing 20 minutes.
It's just, do you know what? Comment down below, guys, and be in my favour, because if you're not in my favour, then we don't get to go to Disneyland, so be in my favour.
This is the worst thing. People have been messaging me being like, I'm so disappointed because I really wanted to
I am doing it. I have been doing it.
You.
A 40-minute walk is exercise. It doesn't mean you have to lift weights. It doesn't mean that you have to sprint miles. I am doing exercise
20
in
minute
my
walk
day.
is just going to work.
I get Ubers. I drive.
That's just transport. You can't do a class.
Right. Basically, let's just move past this for now.
Okay.
Because
we need to set down some ground rules though. From now on, 20 minutes plus of exercise, unless it's a walk, in which case 40 minutes.
Okay. I'm down.
I'm getting deja vu here, Max, because I feel like I'm going to be sat in the exact same position next week.
No, I'm up for this. Okay. Right, I've just had note from our receptionist that the guests have arrived.
Fantastic.
So let's let them in. Oh, I've just had notice that they have arrived.
Yay.
Oh, there they are. Oh my gosh, come on in.
Come on in, guys. It's Ash and Jack, everyone.
Hello.
Studio audience
Hello,
going
Jim.
wild.
It's Ash Holme and Jack Remington. Shake your tits. Right, if you can just both make sure that you speak into the microphone when we do it like this far away, because I know you're used to on yours,
Yes.
just a little thing. We're not that high tech.
How far away?
unfortunately. That's perfect.
enough.
That is perfect.
She's a
If you
natural.
could just pinch your nipples for me, just to like
3
find you.
times.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Say Hail Mary.
Hail Mary podcast.
Poppins.
Right, how are you two doing?
Good.
That was
That's yeah.
You want the
What's
honest
wrong?
answer?
What's wrong?
The honest answer is Jack's in
I'm in
perpetual
hell.
Are you
hell.
ill?
No. What's up? You ill? I threw a mug of coffee over my laptop yesterday. Don't say why did you
Oh
do
wait,
that?
no, I saw on your story.
But why?
Yeah.
Why? How did you do that then?
It was in front of... Have you never knocked anything over before? There was a laptop in
No.
front of me. There was a mug next to
Women
me.
mostly.
And I went...
to
Women mostly.
Domestic violence.
Is it?
Head over heels
you're a
was
wife
the
beater.
vibe we were
Head
going
over
for there.
heels,
Yeah,
okay,
but, you know, domestic. I'm not allowed to talk about that. Actually,
my
for legal
partner.
reasons.
I think that's
Ongoing
I
court
think
case.
that's a cancelable offence.
Right, so you knocked
So I
your
knocked...
drink over.
Anyway, so that is complete... I spent 4 hours in the Apple shop yesterday and it's completely ruined.
Oh.
As we speak, wardrobes are being fitted in my flat, which is great, but it's just... There's nothing
That's a
livable.
euphemism too. He's got a massive dildo up his ass.
Wardrobes are being fitted as we speak.
Are we all AI?
He's gay, you wouldn't
We're like
understand.
2 minutes
Right.
into the.
No.
I enjoyed that.
Jesus Christ!
She goes,
Hey.
all right. Yeah.
All right.
It's for us, it's not for you.
Is that a reference?
Weird.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Why did that happen?
So anyway,
don't
oh, wardrobe, Christ. So the wardrobe's being fitted.
Yeah.
I've got a sofa coming on Friday, but my corridors are so small it's having to come through the
Oh, you
window.
don't want to
now
know what
you're-
that means.
It's not the only thing coming on Friday, my love. So,
Everyone okay?
not in the slightest.
You
Right.
really jumped the gun with the wardrobe fitting because having 2 narrow corridors was much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There. That
True.
was.
Anyway,
So you're in hell.
I'm in total
Yeah.
hell.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
guess what? That will all.
It's only gonna get worse.
That will all be exacerbated right here, baby.
Yay.
So as you know, this is the Useless Hotline, and this is a very serious job interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we run the hotline and we've done some background checks, and we thought that you two were fit to come down to the office and actually do an in-person interview.
I can't imagine why.
I
How'd you
can't
get that
either.
impression?
But there's
Times are hard.
friends of you
Innit?
to you. But there's one thing that we do with all of our guests. So if you could just have a look in that cabinet behind you, please.
Oh no.
Oh.
Is this going to be hell?
Woo!
I have seen beauty before, but this is a discovery.
You basically have to. I know that neither of you are drinking, so instead you have to pour us a drink.
Oh, I would drink.
Oh really?
Oh, hell yeah,
fab.
then.
Listen,
Do
I've
it.
already done my Barry's boot camp.
Right,
class
sound
today,
then.
Mama.
Right, okay. Well, we've
I
got.
have a little dribble of hooch.
Yeah, well, should have
Oh.
2 mugs.
Coochie
I've also
mama.
never tried Prime, so I'd actually quite like
It's
to try it.
not
Do
good,
it, go
but
for it
try
if you
it.
want.
We'll do live reaction.
I'll try that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the really nice one.
and
Oh, there
I
they
would
are.
also like some pink hooch.
Go for
Lovely.
Maybe I'll mix them together.
Oh, you crazy kid.
Oh, good grief! You've got some real choices in here.
Pineapple cream.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's been.
my drag
That's
Do you want to have a pineapple cream with me?
that was open.
Oh, the Nashers are coming out tonight, Mama.
the pineapple.
I'd steer clear of
When the
the.
Invisalign comes out, Jules means business.
Yeah.
The pineapple cream was opened in December of 2022.
Yeah.
and it's
So I
been
know it'll be
there
hard,
So
Jack.
it's getting
20,
final
20,
days.
22.
So it's fermented.
So
I'd steer clear of
we're
the
wait,
cream
we're
for
waiting
once,
until
Jack.
2025 until we crack that one open
Perfect.
again. Yeah.
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 Okay, fine.
You can do whatever concoction you want.
Oh, for you?
Yeah, for all of us.
But we can make yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which one was
Oh.
been open since 1912?
Yeah, it is definitely different that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it was lumpy last time.
Oh.
Well, what? Okay, let's do a mix.
And that wasn't the drink.
Oh God.
Let's do the
Let's
little
do
mixer.
cafe latte cream
What's
with watermelon
this?
sugar.
What's this?
Love Jews.
Bloody hell, it's
Raspberry
impressive. Wasn't expected to reach the top shelf.
It's actually really nice that.
That looks nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I would
But
recommend.
then we're not making a drink because this is already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true,
Yeah, we
but
can put that with the cafe latte.
the audio listeners don't know that.
No, they don't know anything. The bikes are nowhere near.
Oh yeah, yeah. For the audio listeners,
in
Jack
that
and Ash
case-
are currently looking in the cupboard.
For the audio listeners, we're lip sync.
Yeah.
Okay, choose a liqueur, Jack. Come on. What
Oh
about
God,
this?
don't choose a liqueur,
Passoa.
please.
Oh.
Passoa.
Where
Passoa,
can we have
I'll have some Passoa.
Everywhere. It's
What is Passoa?
martini.
It's really nice, I think. Is it nice?
What, you
I'll
put
have.
porn
Oh,
stars?
I'll
Yeah.
have that. I'll have
Doesn't really
that.
answer the question.
Can I have some?
Yeah, innit? We are there.
What is it? It's nice.
It's nice.
I'll have a bit of that. I've already got some seltzer in there, so I'll have a bit of Passoa in there
Okay.
as well. Thank you. Oh
Oh
shit.
my God,
Okay,
what is
okay.
it?
Oh,
Perfect.
wow, what?
Well,
What is-
well, yes.
What is?
It's only like 15%. 17, yeah, it's fine. Neck it.
Oh, smell it. It smells quite nice, actually.
Drink responsibly, though, of course.
What?
Oh,
There's an
Passoa
ogre
like
in
that?
this cupboard.
God.
What, you just had Passoa like that?
No,
I don't
not a whole.
think
I think it's
so.
supposed to be a
I don't think
shot.
you're meant to do that.
It's all right.
I thought it was like
What is that?
That looks
I
like
think
what the
it is.
dentist gives you after he's done a treatment.
Right, we'll pour your drinks,
Yeah.
guys.
What dentist are you going to?
Do you not get
You're
mouth-
being scammed, Clarky boy.
Do you not get mouthwash after you?
I get
Hang on,
mouthwash,
Try and
yeah.
mix it with the little...
Not
Yes,
measles,
actually, a
mumps,
little
and
bit of
rubella.
Yeah.
A little bit of love juice,
I love
mama.
juice.
Okay.
I've had your love juice before, Ash. It left me with a rash.
So,
It's only just clearing up.
Yeah, it is. I got a cold
If it
sore.
was from Austria, then I understand.
Yeah, it's still in Austria.
And yeah, oh God, all my lovers are still in Austria, if I'm being honest.
we should probably explain that, otherwise everyone's going to wonder
We'll
what the
get
fuck
to
you're
it. We'll
talking
get to
about.
it. Don't you
I'm
worry.
not
We'll
just
get to
a
it.
whore in Austria, it's well.
Yeah. Well.
Not just in Austria.
all over the world, globally.
Right. Is everybody ready for a cheers? Have we all poured a drink?
No,
Of
I don't
some
have
sort.
shit in here because you. Hang on
What
a
do you
minute.
want then? I'm going to have some
Just
of this
pour.
pink
I'll
Make
have
it.
some
Have
hoochie
some of that.
mama.
Have some
We're
of that
gonna share this
concoction.
gooch.
Yeah.
Hoochie mamas.
What was your reaction to Prime?
Shit.
Like what you said.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not minging.
It's meant for children, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the tea with it then?
Let-
Is it caffeinated? Like,
No,
why
that
do
one's
people
not. I
care?
think some of them are caffeinated. I think they just
Literally
care
just 'cause
because
it was
then
about their
people
news.
make
Why
it.
do
Yeah,
people
yeah.
care?
Yeah,
No, because
literally.
it flies off the
They
shelf.
say
Yeah.
the same thing about Max's content.
Literally. Why the fuck do
Oh, it's
people
literally
care?
just for kids. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just for children.
Some of it's
Yeah.
caffeinated.
No.
No, it's not good.
We
It's
can
not
use it
the
as a
one.
mixer though for this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably
Okay,
a
tea.
mixer.
Yeah.
Right,
This
everybody,
is-
cheers.
This is
Cheers.
God, mine's a little bit
These
crazy.
are horrible, horrible beverages.
Why did you make yourself horrible?
Cheers.
beverages?
Cheers.
Because who cares?
Oh my god. These useless mugs are available at theuselesshotline.com.
Oh,
Mine just tastes like
delicious.
That's delicious and nutritious.
Yeah, god, that's a bit much that.
It's
Anyway.
just like cucumber
More mixer.
in a
Really?
cup.
Oh, ours is tea.
So, guys,
Go on.
I know you two pretty well at this point, but I feel like I don't know deep inside
What
of both
are you
of
asking?
The
Yeah.
origin. I want to know the origin stories.
Deep in the caverns.
Where are you both from in the UK? Like whereabouts?
Well, do you want the government answer?
I'm in witness protection.
My drag name.
For God's sake.
I was born in like Worksop in Nottinghamshire, which is
Right,
like
okay.
Midlands. Then moved to Lincolnshire when I was 11.
Where is Lincolnshire?
East Midlands.
Why did you
So
move
you're-
to Lincolnshire, Jack?
I was kicked out of school.
Jack
Oh,
was kicked out of multiple.
really?
it-
Oh wait, you've told me this.
Behavioural or homophobic?
Behavioural. I wasn't homophobic.
No, them being.
Way to shoot yourself in the foot. Pick a struggle. He's gay and he hates the rest of them. There shall be only one
12-year-old Jack.
in it. One gay to rule them all.
Oh god.
So, yeah, I was kicked out of school for being homophobic. And, I was just a bit of a nightmare as a kid.
In what way?
I
Gay?
Yeah,
No,
it
was
was
just gay, exactly, as one can imagine. I always knew the answer, as in whether that was like backchatting or like actually the answer. Like I just was a lot.
Was it
You were
like
just
class
cursed
clown?
with-
Was it class clown that took it too far?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think also
No, I think it was also class clown that's actually intelligent, so teachers don't know what to do with that.
Right. Okay.
Because he always got everything right.
If you like answer back to them and it's better than what they're doing, then they're just
Yes.
gonna get pissed off at you.
I
so he
think
was
that
an intelligent
Right,
arsehole,
okay.
basically.
the thing was a lot of the time, like usually, obviously, if I don't mean this to sound like I might sound up myself, I don't know, but like normally, if your behaviour is really bad, your grades suffer as well. Whereas that wasn't the case with me. So they were like, it's not well, if you don't do this, you won't pass you. They were like,
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
get rid of him.
That makes sense.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
What's like the wildest thing that you did?
I got into quite a lot of physical fights.
Did you?
Yeah.
With teachers or with other
Before
people?
the age of 11.
Yeah, and after.
And now.
right now.
And
Yeah,
today.
give it 5 minutes, Clarky boy. I got hung on a peg in my Speedos because it was at swimming.
What, like
Yeah.
wedgie?
And that was
Yeah.
you
By
got in a
wedge-
phisical fight and it ended with you hung on a peg.
Yeah,
and
how did
he didn't say he was winning them.
Yeah,
He just said he was in them.
I got into this. I was always really gobby, right? So it was one of them where like I'd be a year 7, but I'd be beefing with sixth formers.
Right,
So
okay.
I'd be
Right.
like, I'm gonna sit at the back of the bus, and they'd just
Okay.
like bang me out.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
no, you're not.
Yeah.
And I got when I was about 10 or 11, and this must have been a sixth former. The end of the fight, I just remember, was him picking me up and hanging me on a peg in the swimming changing
Did you
rooms.
dangle there?
Yeah, like a dingleberry.
What, you were just
Yeah.
dangling for how long?
Years. Mentally, I'm still me.
This is an AI version of Jack.
Legend has it, if you say Jack Remington in the mirror 3 times in that school.
You start to levitate.
Yeah.
I used
your
to be
Speedos come out your arse.
scared of whatever that
Me
was.
too, me
What
too.
Was, what
Ours was the
actual-
white lady. That's what ours was
white
called.
lady?
Yeah, if you say white
Oh,
lady.
I thought it was the unknown.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Apparently in my school, if you said white lady, 3
don't say it
times,
again.
I know I deliberately did it.
Yeah,
I said it
idiot.
twice. In the mirror, then like she showed up behind you or something.
Any white
White
lady?
lady,
You lived in a
yeah,
rural
it is.
town
Like,
in
what
Manchester.
white lady?
I don't really know. We're bleeping that.
Yeah, you bad. Ours was Bloody Mary, wasn't it? Wasn't that the
Oh, yeah,
OG
Bloody
one?
Mary
I
was
think
the-
that is the OG, but
And
mine
then you
was
just get
white
delivered a
lady.
drink.
Yeah.
So
Porn star martini, porn star martini.
That's
So you're twatting and getting twatted. What are you up to at this time, Ash?
That's
what were
their
you
duo
like?
name.
Yeah,
was
innit?
I
Twatting
like?
and getting
Oh,
tied.
Please welcome to stage.
Yeah.
Jedward.
We were polar opposites. I was so clapped. As in, like, Jack was like belonged in prison
Yeah.
as a child, and I was T. I just I went to an all-girls grammar school.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That blows my mind.
I know.
I feel like you are just so not that.
Yeah.
He's well clever as well, which people don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I can see that, but I feel like the way he's
You?
like, you would
Wow,
never know.
what?
Yeah.
Jack was like, you'd
It's-
never
it's
know it,
hidden
but she's
so-
actually clever.
hidden so well, but she's
Yeah.
very intelligent.
No,
You really
I,
dig deep.
Yeah.
I feel like you are. I mean, my friends who like went to people that I know who
My
have gone to
acquaintances, I'm dead.
that have like done stuff like that. They come out and they're not like very well socialized sometimes.
Yes.
But I feel like that's not you.
No, do you know what it was? I think it's the best thing ever to go to a girls' school.
Really?
Just because we didn't give a fuck about anything. You know that age where you're like trying to be a bit cool
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, there's boys in the school. I don't know, maybe I should. We were just weird. Like we were just so weird at school, but it was the best thing ever.
I
love that.
think
Yeah.
my uni was quite posh. And
Yeah, you went to Cambridge, didn't you?
Oxford.
Oxford,
So
same
mind your
thing.
fucking mouth.
Period.
But I found in general that like the boys that went to all boys schools a lot of the time, a lot of them were knobs and didn't
Yeah.
understand how to be around girls. And personally, I think if I had kids and if I had a boy, I wouldn't want him to go to a boys'
But a
school.
girl.
However,
Yeah.
there were problems at the girls' schools, and often there was like I think they can be horrible breeding grounds for like
Lots
eating
of
disorders
fingering.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of fingering as well. Yeah.
That.
But they're so confident. Like
It
they
was like,
are.
oh, what the grammar girls just all finger each other. And we were like, cool. All right. And what? What now?
You, which one?
Yeah. I have 10.
Well, yes.
Yes. But yeah, do you think there's a difference though between boys? I do think.
Yeah, that's
there
what I
is.
mean.
Yeah,
As in, I think
completely
boys-
agree.
A lot. Obviously, this is a generalization, but I found at uni, the ones that I knew didn't understand how to be around women. Often at those schools as well, it's predominantly male teachers as well. So there's no real understanding of the way that they're perpetuating misogyny and stuff
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, George went to an all-boys school.
Precisely.
Ah,
And
everything's been explained.
We finally pieced the puzzle together.
wow,
was the final-
It's not
Did you?
true. No,
No, I didn't think you did. No, I just wanted
Oh,
to say
so
it.
that was
No,
false
he didn't.
news.
No, yeah, he just thought it was funny, apparently.
believed it though. Hook, line, and stinker.
Instant
Innit?
believe. Oh, that's so cool though. So when you say you were clapped, what does that mean?
What do you mean
Were you
were?
like, were you well behaved?
Yeah.
Like in like teaching capacities.
I was
Cheeky.
really cheeky.
Right, okay.
So like I just tried to get away with loads. That's it. I just tried to get away with as much as I could. I was never rude. Like I would not be starting fights. There's no way.
Yeah.
But
Same.
You're not that clapped, yeah.
No.
no, I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
But I was just. I am a fire starter. But yeah, I was just really cheeky. But also, I just had no desire to be even the slightest bit cool or even pretend to be.
Love that.
Like I kind
So
of.
sick that man.
You were a gleek.
Yeah, I just. Do you know what's weird?
A non-gay
No.
gleek.
No, I was like in the what would have been deemed as the like cool crew.
Yeah.
But I was
The
just.
fact that they're a crew is not cool.
Well, yes.
She was in So Solid Crew.
Yes, but I was like just the funny one from
Right,
day
okay,
one.
That was me.
okay.
I think that's why we make so, because I was exactly the same. I was in with the popular ones, but I was always like,
I-
"Oh, that's Jack."
Yeah,
no,
me
I
too.
just used to get invited as, oh my God, like invite that little
Yeah,
brown
she's
girl.
banter,
She's
yeah,
jokes.
yeah, little
me,
Ash.
me crying in the corner. Like, I want to be one of the
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just, and I had no motives at the weekend. As in, I went through a phase of just going to view cinema.
By yourself.
But by myself,
No.
with my dad, every week. I told you I was clapped. I was clapped, but in the best way. Like, I'm not mad about it.
But look at
all.
you now, baby.
Still clapped.
Driving your
that is
car
weird,
into
though.
walls.
Yeah. Oh, guys.
So when you both like left like school, college, uni, all of that stuff,
Yeah.
you were obviously both on X Factor, which I find hilarious now when
I
you
didn't
know.
know
I
this
can't
until, like,
in
a
it
few
like
months
I
ago.
can't see either of you on X Factor, but I love that information.
It's
Yeah.
hell.
But what were you doing before that? Like, what was the? So you leave? Did you go to uni? Ash?
Did you always
No.
want to be
You
a pop
didn't.
star?
yes. Yes.
Me lifetime.
Yeah.
You look like a
I'm
pop
waiting
star.
on my life
You
for
sound
this.
like a pop
You
star.
clapped like a pop star.
You are a pop star.
No, I just had a string of. I've done every job.
Really?
Yeah, I
know where that was
basically. I've done every man in London. No, I've done. Why do we need to make things
I don't
weird?
know.
It's actually so annoying. No, I just had loads of miscellaneous jobs. I basically. It was quite rogue.
Dealer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was a dealer for a while, and then
A dealer Menzel.
Dealer Bontees.
Reality Mon, a dealer Von Tees.
Reality Bontees. No, so look, guys, stop! I can't even get through a fucking story. What's wrong with
We are
you?
nowhere near to it.
No,
Two questions
we're not getting anywhere.
Where were you born and where did you go to school?
Yeah,
Half an hour
the
episode.
end.
Brilliant.
I was glad at the end.
Carry on.
Basically, it was quite rogue to have not gone to uni from my school.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I was the anomaly in terms of everyone was like, oh God, Ash, bit rogue, not going to uni. What are
Yeah.
your plans? And I said, I'm going to be a star. But I said, I will be at some point. But there's going to be a whole load of jumping through hoops to get there.
Yeah.
Like I
What
did
jobs
loads
did you
of
do?
shit.
What sort of things?
Okay, so I worked at this big hotel in Watford called The Grove.
I assume performing.
No.
How is
No, no,
this
no, no,
helping
no.
you towards
I-
stardom?
Exactly.
I assume
this is the point.
prostitution.
Yeah.
And you'd be correct.
This was out of school as well.
By the way, justice for sex workers, we love you all.
yeah.
Am I? Woo! No, so I basically was like, I am going to perform in some capacity, but I always had the view of, obviously I need to make a quick buck in between that. I'm not making money from performing straight away.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to sing. I didn't know.
Did you do that at like college? Or was that like an extracurricular sort
Yeah,
of
like
thing?
an extracurricular
Right, okay.
thing. So like I'd already started dancing by
Right.
like the sixth form point. So I knew I liked it and I knew I was fairly good at it. So I was like, I want to do something within performing. I just don't know what yet. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just take myself to class. I couldn't be asked to go to performing school because you have to go down the MT route.
And it's
I was like,
very-
Mama,
it's a lot.
I don't
You're-
like
that's
musicals.
not you. No, that's not you.
I wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
sing R&B and be cool
Yeah.
and whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, but yeah, I had some shit jobs.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so I
feel like
worked-
you need to.
But I worked I was a waitress at the Grove. But the Grove is where like the entire it's bougie. It's
Really?
huge. And so when the England football team play.
The Grove, is that the golf course
Yes,
thing?
they all stay at the Grove.
Wow.
So
The one bit of conversation I've
Yeah.
tapped into.
Yeah.
On the golf course.
And at the same time, Matt goes,
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Oh,
and you're back in the room. Well done.
She said football team, this is my
we do 20-minute walks around the golf course.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. But yeah, and that job was awful. I remember one day.
Really?
Yeah, it was hell. Really hellish. I used to wear this white shirt, trousers, plimsolls, a tie. All of it was just the worst thing ever. And I remember
Were you part of St. Trinians?
very that. No, it was. As in, it was almost like they had a commitment to say, how can we make you look as bad as possible, and then put you in front of the England football team.
And so she's internalised that to this day.
Yes, of course, yeah.
I actually hate you. But yeah, as in, I've worked at a stockbroker's as well. I've done weird
Been
shit.
around the towns and everything.
You started this by
Everywhere.
saying you're going to jump through hoops to get to start.
Exactly, and none of these get me to
I will
stardom.
swindle the stock market. I will marry a footballer. I will get there by hook or by crook.
So, how
Yeah, it
old
was
were you
so
when you went on X
random.
Factor?
6.
How old was I?
It was
Was it 6 years ago?
2017.
You do
So
the maths.
that's-
I'm not doing
7
that.
years ago. So you were
That's 7 years ago. Yeah.
21. Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
21.
what about you? How old were you?
36.
Yes.
I'd have been
He's actually
20
82 now.
22?
People don't know that about
22.
Joe.
A year older than her,
So,
22.
so when you left uni, was that like one of the first things that you started doing was performing?
I was doing it through uni, yeah. So I was in an a
Oh,
cappella
okay.
group at
Oh
uni.
yes. Oh, I said that to you. Which everyone knows all the cool guys join the a cappella group.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Now.
What I will
You
say is.
cannot bash the a cappella group.
Wait. Did you?
is like
I need to know. I
Jack's
need to know.
legacy.
I need to know. Did you compete?
We won the
What?
national
Is-
championship.
Is it literally like Pitch Perfect?
Yes, and
Yeah,
it's also
yeah,
the
yeah,
year
yeah.
that Pitch Perfect came out.
No, you were living.
And we won.
You were being
and I
fed.
was president.
President.
What was your
President
a
of the
and we were
cappella
called
name?
Out of the Blue.
Oh, that's a bit
Okay,
boring.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because
Because I will tell you why. Because blue was the Oxford colour.
Oh, okay.
And we all wore like blue suits and ties a lot, but then it was a surprise out of the blue because we'd be doing, it's these like posh boys then singing
And they're like, wow, the voice of
Poker Face
Jesus.
or like Hips
Right.
Don't Lie or
Yeah,
whatever. and doing
something
like,
really out there, like Poker Face. something really
as
fun.
opposed to Pia Yezu or Nessun Dorma is my point.
Okay,
Well, they've really gone
I'm not
through the
saying it's an
archives to find
indie
this one.
music choice. So we sang the Lumineers.
I feel like you need to insert something from.
No, you don't.
No, you
Please.
do.
That's my,
Do you remember-
that's my
do you remember
old
any of your
face.
parts?
I'm not doing that. Any pre-2020 face.
Before 10 litres of
Before, yeah,
cement.
I've got my teeth
I
sorted.
really. How many people are in a cappella in a?
There were 15
a
of
cappella
us. It was all male.
Wow.
group? Is there like a beatboxer?
Yes.
Nice.
Joel.
Joel.
So,
What were you singer? Or were
position?
you?
tight head. I was right prop. I was a tenor, so you'd gone by voice part.
Is tenor higher?
Yes. So
And-
tenor, baritone, bass is the lowest.
Right. Okay. So you're doing the literal like belting.
Tenor 1 and
notes.
tenor 2. I was tenor 2, so I was just.
So you were
Wow.
poker face.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
exactly,
Wow.
but like with a nice tone. And so I was
yes.
in that group.
Yeah.
Met Joel, the beatboxer,
Yes.
from that
Nice.
group.
Oh wow. Oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, so he was in that group with me. We had quite a few viral videos. So I guess I was actually the first one of all of us to have some viral videos.
I was in year 6. Sorry.
And we ended up doing loads of traveling with that group, like all around the world, like did American tours and all that off the back of these videos. And then
Wow.
Joel and I, as we left that group, started singing together, doing loads of like uni balls and stuff whilst we were there. And then when we left uni, we used the money that we'd saved up from gigging to go traveling. So we went to the Olympics in Brazil because we'd done a
honestly
gig
thought
for
you were gonna
British
say
Airways.
London then. I was like,
Can you imagine? Travelled all the way down from Oxford to London
Sorry,
on the Oxford
That's
tube.
amazing.
It was sick.
That's
And then
so
we did
cool.
we did 4.5 months of traveling around South America, all funded by the singing. And then when we got back, we'd had some viral videos of us two on Facebook and YouTube, and the casting people for X Factor were like, will you audition for X Factor?
Wow.
So it was never like an active thought.
Yeah.
We got back
It
from
just
traveling,
happened
and then
naturally.
2 months later we were doing X Factor. So it all just
Were you
kind of
ever
fell.
sure whether you
interesting.
wanted to or not?
No, it's
Because I
funny
was
'cause
hell
people-
bent on not wanting to do it.
Oh,
but, I was
really?
but I was in a girl group and they all wanted
Yes,
to do it, and I was like, I can't be.
I find it so mad that you're in a girl group. This is we need to dive into
It's
this.
iconic, innit?
Oh, it's
What was
so
the name of the
iconic.
girl group?
It's don't we don't
Please.
come
Come on,
we'll unpack
please,
it later.
please.
No, we had multiple names because everybody
give us
just
a list
kept
then.
dipping in and out of the group, so we had to get
The original Sugar Babe.
Yeah,
It's had
we
like
had to keep
15
changing
members.
it.
But the best one is that when
Danity Kane.
she'll get to this, but when she was in another girl group on the show, their name, because they were all put together on the show, was New Girl Band.
and that was it.
That was the name.
That's like when you translate something that was like Korean.
Correct.
And then,
Yes.
like, you
Yeah,
translate it to
yeah.
English.
Yes.
That is
Like you
wild.
ordered one off Amazon.
yeah,
Yeah.
off Wish.
And it translates to 3 sexy girls or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
so
yeah.
dead.
And a packet of crisps.
It was
That is
literally
wild.
that. and a can of seltzer.
Wait, so I find it so wild that you two both came onto X Factor in a group. So if
Yeah.
you didn't know, Jack was he was like part of Jedward. Jack was actually in Jedward.
No, it's okay.
No, he was part of it. It was literally called, very, very creatively named, Jack and Joel.
Joel.
Yeah,
Because
we
Well,
love that.
yeah.
we were
Yeah,
called
well, yes.
John and Edward.
Yes. But how mad though that you both then became
I know.
friends after
Because we
the
always
fact
say
and you
this, we're
had-
like, do you think our paths... I would like to think I'm not really a big believer in fate and stuff, but we're such kindred spirits that like, would our paths have crossed at some point? And even if they did, when she was like working in a club, for instance, maybe I'd have gone to that club.
I don't
But
know
I
if
don't
they
even
would
know. But
have.
we'd have just been like, oh, you're right. Like there
Yeah.
are plenty of your mates
Yes.
who I love from that world, but I'm not awfully close to because I've never really don't know them
Yeah.
that well.
because you hate
so,
them.
So because I hate them,
Yes.
Yeah.
particularly the women. And so yeah, but I always think to myself like, would that have just been one of them where I'm like, oh yeah, I love her, she's so fun, she gets her batty out on stage, and
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
just
But
you
would
would have just seen her at some point.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
have both,
So wild.
would you have both still done like TikTok and stuff if you hadn't have gone on X Factor?
Do you know what? Good question. Probably not.
Probably
I
not.
I started doing socials because I had a following from the show, and then lost all my work at the start of COVID because I was singing and I was doing like academic tutoring in person, both of which like there were no
Can't
gigs
do.
going on, and obviously
Yeah.
there was no tutoring. So I kind of just turned to being Saki on Instagram and stuff, and basically just like being myself more to camera rather than just singing. And then it kind of went from there. So I guess maybe not, because I think maybe I wouldn't have had the confidence if I didn't have an audience at all.
Yeah.
It's so much harder, isn't
it's
it?
so
to
much
like
harder.
embody that
Yeah.
persona of being out there and people going, oh, what an arse. Whereas
Yeah.
as soon as
Yeah.
you've got a few followers, people respect
don't judge
it
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why so many people started during COVID, because people didn't care as much about what people thought, because
'Cause you're not at
they
school
weren't
for
gonna
people
see
to go,
them.
"Hey,
you
Yeah,
can
they
do
weren't going to see them
Yeah.
anytime soon. So even if I did
And
the
also
most
the
cringy
world
thing in the
was
world,
falling apart, so they're like,
exactly.
see if I give
It's
a
the
fuck.
least of your
Literally,
worries.
Like
fine.
my grandma's gonna die going into Lidl. Like, see if I care about your TikTok.
So I'm gonna make a TikTok about it.
Yeah. And that's how Ash started her career.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, do you mind getting into this transition?
In it. Rest in peace, Majula.
Oh my
Julie.
god. Oh my
I
god.
don't think we would have crossed paths.
No, maybe not.
There might have been a
I
point
just-
though where you were in like the same place at the same
We
time.
definitely
maybe.
would have found ourselves.
Maybe at some point.
Yeah.
Chance of being first thing.
Yeah,
innit?
innit? Not that. I forgot about that. It's my favourite. Chance to be fine.
Chance to be fine.
Don't worry, it's just private joke to me and George.
Yeah,
When we
all
next.
right.
But I think we definitely would have found ourselves in the same places. Because Soho, we do eat, sleep and breathe Soho.
Yeah, we do.
So I think
But
we
again,
would have.
that's because we're so much us now that everything we do is like together. I don't know how much our past would have been so different.
Would
Yeah,
you be
if
living
you
in
don't
London?
work.
Would you be going out to these places if you didn't?
This is what I mean. I wouldn't necessarily have been going to the
And
club
the thing
that she
is,
used to
when
work
you
at.
now work in the same
You
industry,
definitely wouldn't go to the clubs. That I'd probably find myself in more straight spaces
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it wasn't for
Yeah.
being as close with Jack.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't go to straight spaces
No.
at all.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, you don't. I,
This is the closest to a straight person I've been in years. And I feel
ever
quite
been.
uncomfortable.
Wait, let's bring it back 1 second to X Factor.
Yeah.
So you got approached
You're very good at
to.
this.
Thank you. It's
Well
my
done.
job. Thank you. You got approached to audition. How did you go about it?
She begged and pleaded.
yes, I chatted up
haven't known
Simon
one of these.
Cowell and I said, no, it was the same thing. They. Sorry, no,
Flying through.
Dive in.
not
love.
what would you like from the bar, Michelle, going on behind me. Yeah, we got approached as well.
Oh,
Actors
really?
up as well.
Fucking hell.
I'm nothing if not a good friend.
How does that happen then? Were you posting videos of you and your group?
Yeah, I auditioned to be in this girl group, right? And I was like, oh my God.
What,
this
in like a
looks
local
fun.
town sort of thing?
As in, yeah. It was
In the
very,
Lancashire Telegraph.
It was very much giving. We were rehearsing in like a community centre. It was a hell. And
I mean, you've got to do what you've got to do.
No, but it's so funny that
As in?
that is sort of the butterfly effect that's led to here is that she went to a community centre to audition for a
I know.
girl
To
band.
audition for a girl band.
It's a literal origin story.
And that is my origin story.
So
and it's
wait, so
lit.
you were dancing. When did the singing start? Was
I
that just
was-
something that you always did
Yeah,
in private?
and I should never have started.
Why? I
Because
feel like you're a good
why?
singer.
No, no. It's giving can hold a tune. Jack's sitting there like, she is shit. But I'm
I
not
think
gonna
you're a
sing.
really good singer.
Do you know
You're
what?
great.
No, I can hold a tune. I'm not
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, but in my head,
No, but you
right,
don't need to be nowadays.
Exactly.
Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey. In my head, I thought, I know I can perform the shit out of a stage.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't need to be Celine Dion.
No, especially in a group.
I can hold the tune and then give you rat, that 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
The crowd would go wild. I said, I know that there's something in there.
Yeah.
So I got approached on Instagram because obviously, if you're in the performing world already,
I like that you looked at me there like, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
aware of that, yeah.
Straight
which you
acting.
are. You're saying like, when did you get onto social media? Like, you are kind of just by default on social
Yeah.
media
Yeah.
if you're a dancer or in that world, because that is your CV, isn't it? So I didn't have followers on it, like loads. What did you have any followers before X Factor?
A few thousand. but-
Yeah, so as in it wasn't anything to write home about.
Just a few thousand adoring fans.
Nothing
too big.
At my door most mornings.
It wasn't anything to write home about, but
Yeah.
somebody basically approached me from I don't even know what they were, like a music management thing, and they said, we're putting a girl group
Grew up to
together.
be Google.
It was
Ash actually got
Yeah.
she got 10 shares for the company.
It was
and
actually-
sold it for a slice of pizza.
it was actually a pyramid scheme.
So you could have a kid.
Yeah,
Check that.
it was an Avon lady trying to sell me creams. No, they basically were like, shut up, but Jack. They were basically like, do you want to audition to be in this girl group?
Yeah.
And that obviously wasn't in my plan, but I was like, fuck it, this sounds fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
why
of
not?
course.
So that's what I did. And that's how we ended up
That's crazy.
on
this
the
pod.
on the X Factor.
So you were on the year before Jack.
No, same year.
Same year.
We were both groups. We became bezies
This
because
is
we were at the
wild.
same judges' houses together.
No.
Wait,
Simon
Simon
Cowell
Cowell
to
to
the
the south
When
of
did-
France.
Did
Yeah.
you either of you make it past judges' houses?
Yeah.
Sorry
Jack
to bring up
did.
some PTSD, some trauma.
Well, right. So to give you some backstory, so there's an iconic moment where
So the X Factor is a show where people go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
now there was the was it the 6-chair challenge your year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I hated that. I think that's so cruel.
That
now
is
I
the
think
one
about
of the
it.
cruelest things I think I've ever seen on television, and I
hell.
loved every second
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's so entertaining.
course you
It
did.
beats
You
that
look
guy.
at
It's as bad. I would say it's on par with that guy who goes, I'm about to meet this family of massive
Oh
families,
my
Fat
god.
families.
trundling
One-way
trio,
ticket to Wobbly World.
grazing their way to an early grave.
Yeah,
I
100%.
can't believe that used to exist.
Oh my god, wild. But you're
insane.
doing the 6-chair challenge,
Yeah.
and then they put you on the spot, didn't they?
Yes.
Or was it during your audition and they asked you to leave your group that you'd come
No,
with?
but what was mad was Simon was doing this throughout. He was doing this the whole time that we.
What, to
'cause they-
everyone?
No. As in to me throughout our audition process.
So wait, so you go to your first audition.
we go to our first
and
audition.
you're a group.
We're a group. Our audition didn't get aired, so you don't have control over what gets
Yeah, yeah,
aired.
yeah.
Their audition got yours did, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, ours didn't. So there was no backstory to anyone. This had been happening the whole time. You audition, you get through, then you do boot camp. You get through how many? 2 rounds of boot camp or
Something like that.
2 rounds of boot camp, and then you do the 6-chair hell challenge.
Yeah.
Right, and that's televised. But again, you don't have a say in what's going.
No, you don't know what's going
live
on.
and what's not. So some people, do you remember when you used to watch X Factor and you used to be like, where did these lot come from?
Yeah,
Did
they
see
just
their
appeared out of
audition?
nowhere,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas it's obviously then they've decided that they want to give them a storyline,
storyline.
but they didn't show anything else.
Yeah.
And that's basically what they did with us. So I was so confused by it all because the whole way through, Simon, I barely sang a note, right? I'm not even joking. I was in a literal girl group. Obviously, I have a low voice, so I was always the low in our group. I wasn't the main at all. And I would literally go, he'd go, Ash. You are unbelievable.
We think he fancied her.
And I
That's
just
our
thought,
theory.
you want to see my tits. But that's fine.
So here you are, baby.
6-chair challenge.
You the season after in a leaf dress.
Minute.
I did.
The 2 nipple challenge.
I kept saying I am literally his new Sunita. And I think
Ashnita.
Yeah, in it. Legally changing my name to Ashnita. But yeah, so this was happening throughout the time that we were on the show.
Yeah.
Every time we auditioned in front of Simon, he made me do all sorts. Not that. Oh God. He made me suck him up. No. He made me do so much. He was like, during boot camp, we sung a song. He then went, all right, guys, the group I'm not really feeling. So can you all
Ash, I would like to feel.
Yeah, he was like, can you all step back and do harmonies and Ash sing the whole song by herself? And I was like, no, because that's not how we rehearse.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's fine.
Is that literally on the spot then? I thought it would all be very...
And he was like, this is how I want to hear it. And
my God.
And I'm looking at the girls thinking, I'm going to shit myself.
Yeah.
And they were like, Ash, just do it. Like, you have
Yeah.
to. You're literally in front of all these people. I was like...
And you went, fine, and then just started
Yeah,
popping all over the place.
Didn't work.
If I
and
have
he said,
to.
that's my girl.
She said, and a 1, 2, 3,
Literally.
4.
Gigi ta ta. Pussy, bitch.
So basically, but for the viewer at home, there was no lead up to any of this.
Yeah.
We kind of knew that this was coming, as in like my group were like, he literally
Loves you.
either wants your purse or thinks you're a star.
Yeah.
Either way, he's making you go the whole way, and he doesn't care for the group.
Right.
So we were like, okay, fine, but
Even with the name New Girl Band.
Well, this-
shocking,
this-
isn't it? Shocking.
They put so much effort into it, and now it's just Ash.
Honestly. So by the time we got to 6-chair challenge, we'd got a no. And I remember being
yeah,
like...
because he calls you from upstage, doesn't he?
Yeah, but they don't let you leave because obviously they like to
Stuff
do
might
fuckeries
happen.
on
Yeah.
the show,
Yeah.
put people in other places, blah, blah, blah. So we were like, we've got to know, let's all go home.
Oh, and then the producers were there like, no, you can't go.
Yeah, the producers went, you can't go home, you need to sit out back. By this point, I've rang my dad and he's on his way to Wembley with a KFC.
Oh.
And I said, bring me a KFC, this show is shit. But they're not letting me leave. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just here out back. He
I'm
was
hostage.
Like, yeah, and he was like, okay, Ash, I'm on way, I'll get you a bargain bucket. So my dad is genuinely en route to Wembley with a bargain bucket. And all of a sudden, I get called back on stage.
You must have shit yourself.
He's just in the crowd with his chicken.
Yeah, and my
He's like,
dad
that's my girl.
Gravy. Yeah.
And you're 21 at this point.
Yeah.
And you must have been shitting yourself.
Shitting myself. Dermot O'Leary's in the back going, Ash, come on, they're calling you out. And I had no shoes on. I took my shoes off. I was waiting for the bargain bucket.
Is that a common practice? Just take your shoes off for the
Yeah,
bargain
yeah,
bucket?
I need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
She eats with her feet.
yes.
So then you go on stage, and then
Yeah.
he decides to put you in a new girl group
Yes.
New
called
Girl Band.
New Girl
New Girl
Band.
Band.
Such a shit name.
It's
That's
sad.
wild.
So bad.
But at least, I mean, from that experience, you went through hell, and then you got to go to judges' houses. Where was it that year?
South of France.
South of France.
But you know it was so funny,
South
right?
of
Because it
France.
was
You're
which,
taking the
Listen,
piss.
right, so to preface this, obviously, like Slay, whatever, you know, it's better than going to Dublin with
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah.
No offense to Irish
No,
listeners.
I swear even he went
He
somewhere
did go
super
somewhere
slay
else.
that
They went to
year.
Turkey that year, the boys. But
Really?
the point
Right.
is, like, in our head, most of us had never been to America, so it was like, oh my God, we're going to go LA, whatever.
Yeah, of course. That's what I would think.
So,
Right, Simon.
so we were at Gatwick, they don't tell you, and I was given the golden envelope, and it was recorded of all the people within the group, so there like, must have been like 20, 30 of us, because it's 6 acts going to. Am I all right?
Quick math.
I know. And I had to open the thing and everyone
Yeah.
react. And I went, South of France, and everyone went,
Everyone went, that's shit.
and I went, right, can we refilm that? And you like pretend that you're all enjoying
We
it.
had to refilm that like 3 times.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Because we all thought it was going to be LA, California,
Yeah,
you know,
I would
this,
as
that,
well.
and the other.
Who was his like guest?
Cheryl.
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 Yeah.
Cheryl.
That's quite iconic. to
It
be
was
fair.
Slay.
It
Yeah.
was Slay.
Yeah.
That is iconic. So
was,
who
it
else was
was.
on your season?
So Raksu, who won,
Oh, okay. See,
We're a
right.
group.
Okay.
Mm.
Cook Kelvins, were Scottish brothers and sisters, and Sean and Connor were an Irish duo.
Right.
Of brothers.
Yeah.
So that it was really strong in our year for groups, because obviously a group won.
Yeah,
Which was annoying because usually always groups are shit.
Yeah.
So we were all like, oh yeah, great, okay, we're a group. And I was like, of course it was the year that another group was going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
That's a wild
We
experience.
basically
Formative.
trauma bonded.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
We got because we both got sent. So we came back as a wild card, but originally we got sent home, me and Joel, from judges' houses.
Forgot about the wild
So we
card.
both.
Was
so
that
we
a
got
public
plastered on the
vaulted
plane
thing?
on the way
It's
home.
like a game
the
of
wild
Uno.
card.
In it?
No, Uno,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fucking
Was it a
show.
public vaulted
Yeah.
thing? I thought
Is
so.
it where they got the photos on the table and they're like, no, I like him. And they're
Very
like,
that.
Yeah,
Very
and they all
that.
go, yeah. It's
So we
exactly
were
that.
in the airport getting absolutely done out. You know, one of
Binted.
those. You know, one of
Yeah.
those like baths that they'd have as a.
You did bath salts.
We did bath salts.
We had a bath.
with Lil Wayne.
I had a bath
Costers
with
up.
Simon Cowell, yes.
Like the pop-up things within like a makeup area, you know, just like a display. And it was
Yeah,
like
like
a
in
bath
boots or
but
something.
full of
Okay.
summer.
Yeah.
We got in that bath at like duty free. Do you remember?
Yeah,
It was a
and
lot.
Maybe like soap
Bear in
and
mind,
glory or
with
something.
all the literal like ITV team or whoever it is.
They all
Well,
got it
like-
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were also in the bath.
It
with
was a
us.
big bath.
Yeah,
That's
it was
wild.
bad. I remember, but I remember at that point, I was like, "Who
See if we
cares?"
get
Yeah,
now?
who gives a shit?
Yeah,
It is what
yeah,
it is.
it's done.
That is a wild experience that you both had then. So,
Yeah.
are you still in touch with any of the girls
You still
from
in
your
touch
girl
with each other?
band?
Yeah. No, we hate each other. We haven't seen each other in 10 years. This is the first time. The girls, interestingly, one of them literally messaged me last night.
Really?
And said, I'm listening to your pod and I'm howling.
Really?
And I
Oh
was
my
like, no
God.
way. I know. How
Alphas.
weird is that? Lydia. Yeah, Lydia's a
wild.
babe. She was really great.
she is.
They've all had babies and all
Really?
the girls, yeah.
Oh my god.
And here I am.
Here she is.
Yeah, they've all like gone down the real wholesome
Wow.
family route and are just not performing.
is-
At
it's
least
wild.
most of the ones that I know.
Do you remember what that young one's mum told her to do?
We can't say that.
What?
One of them was young in the group,
Okay.
and her mum was basically like, "There are
Yeah, I mean,
there
who
are
cares?
certain things that you could do that would make this better for you."
As in, like, suck off Simon Cowell.
Next question.
See ya.
And we were like, "Your mother."
Bear in mind, she is young.
I think she was 16.
But, and she was basically being like, hoe yourself out, girl.
And obviously,
like,
and like when
what?
that's
They must
your
have been
mum.
looking around like, right, Ash is doing it, she's doing it.
Yeah, why else is she here?
How are you going to compete with Asher Leaves? Get to work, bitch.
Sorry, no. Can we get another girl?
Yeah,
Right.
literally.
That is wild. Oh my god.
It was insane.
What a
Yeah.
wild experience that
I
you both
know.
shared. And you're obviously still in touch with Joe.
My feminine
Joel.
side.
Yes.
Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
love
still sing
Joel.
together a bit. We've got
Yeah,
a wedding
yeah.
in a few weeks. We don't do that.
You're getting
much,
married?
but-
That's nice.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Not bad.
Who was when you were on the show?
dear.
Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite judge and who was your least favorite judge?
Simon
the
wasn't
judges
my
that year,
favourite.
firstly?
It was Nicole, Louis,
Iconic.
Sharon, and Simon. It was
That's
a good, lineup.
year. That's
Yeah.
a really good year.
I
Really
will
good
say
year.
the issue for us was, as clouty as it was, being like, oh my God, your mentor's Simon, that's so lit, everybody wants Simon. He's so busy
Yeah.
that he runs on LA time. So even if he's in the UK,
You don't
the way he
actually get
operates
time
his
with
day,
him.
so he doesn't get jet lag, is like he's 8 hours behind, or I always get it the wrong way around, but he basically just doesn't surface until like 5 o'clock.
Oh.
So when you see the
look so tired.
Is that why his trousers are so high?
so
He's
like
got them on LA time.
Yeah, literally.
they just drop through the day.
LA time.
So it, you know, on the VT where it was like
Through the
he'd
hell.
come into rehearsal and be like, "Oh yeah, change this." Da-da-da.
Yeah.
That is all we saw of him. Like literally, what was
Really?
filmed for 15 seconds in the
Yeah.
bit before,
That's
like
it.
Jack and Joel.
That makes sense.
yeah.
You don't actually get any.
Whereas
mentoring
obviously
by it
Louis
at all.
had nothing better to be doing with his time. So
Yeah.
So Louis, we spoke to loads because Louis was just around all the time.
Yeah.
And Sharon didn't see that much. Nicole was always really nice. Didn't have much interaction with her, but
Oh.
well, you didn't get to live shows. Obviously, I had more interactions with her.
What was your experience with Nicole Scherzinger?
As in, she's obviously the biggest slate ever.
Yeah.
She just tore me a new arsehole every time I sang.
Did she? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
As in, I think a lot of the young girlies felt like, I think you look at Nicole and think, that is everything that you want to be at that when you're like young and impressionable and going on a show like that at like 21 or some of the girls were like 16. Nicole is like your guru, like, and I think you almost expected more
motherliness.
Yes, and she was like, oh no, she was like crap the whip.
I almost wonder because Nicole is so talented, like even more talented
She's
than people
sick.
give her credit
Oh my god,
Yeah.
she's
vocally
one
incredible.
of the best singers ever.
Yeah,
And so
she's
I wonder
amazing.
if it's
Don't get me
almost
started on Nicole.
like I can't be arsed with you if you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In
I think-
almost
I
it's
think
like,
it
oh
was
bloody
that.
hell,
I want to
come
be
on.
blown away.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
X Factor.
And I
And-
think
and-
she also wanted to assert, like, she wants to assert herself as somebody serious. If she was just
HBIC.
being lovely to all the girlies
Yeah,
and being
yeah.
like, no, you're really good, and it sounds like a
I
bag of
agree.
cats.
Yeah.
I also
What-
think in general a lot of the time pop is a genre that just isn't taken seriously, full stop.
Yeah.
People like Zara Larsson says this all the time. People love to like shit on pop girlies and not take it seriously. Like it's always that it's like a guilty pleasure to listen to pop.
I
Whereas
love
if you
Zara
listen to like indie music, it's like, oh yeah, you've got really cool taste.
Yeah, you're really
So
cool.
true.
And,
Yeah.
and I think therefore
People say that about everything that I
true.
listen to.
100%.
Yeah.
Like guilty pleasure, and it's like, well, it's not just a pleasure.
Yeah.
Like, why is
Yeah.
it guilty pleasure that I like a Glee version of a song?
Exactly.
So anyway,
Speak on.
check your privilege. So I wonder whether there's an internalized bit of that of almost like I've earned my diva-ship because she
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal performer.
Oh my god, she's so incredible.
I saw her in Cats as Grisbella.
Did you?
Oh my god, she was tea. Yeah.
I
So
saw
even
her
that,
last month in what was she just in?
That blood show where she's
Yeah,
covered in
God, what
blood.
was
I
it
can't
called?
remember, but
Anyway, I
yeah.
went
we
to
were
see
in
it.
Cannes with her as well.
Yeah, she was at the Magnum Beach party in
Really?
Cannes
Yeah,
Film
at
Festival
Cannes
last
Film
week.
you guys
Festival.
go? Do you remember us?
We
Yeah.
well,
We lived.
genuinely for ages. We were like, will she actually remember us?
Yeah.
I knew she wouldn't remember me, but I was like, will she remember you?
Yeah,
Because
we
you
ended
did.
up having quite a convo. It was nice.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't think
I
you
don't
were there
remember
for it.
that.
I think you were outside chatting to that redhead woman.
Or being in love with a NASA scientist.
Val outrageous.
Val outrageous.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Outrageous.
So you both finish X Factor at different points. It is what it is.
Famously.
Famously. What is next for you? Are you thinking, right, singing, let's
Voice.
go, like performing, let's go?
The Voice Kids Island.
Are you thinking this is about to become my thing and I'm just going to keep doing this? Or are you thinking, right, it didn't go how I thought it would, I'll change this?
I think I was always realistic with Joel. We were like, let's ride it out whilst we can.
Yeah.
Sing as much as we can. Because we were getting quite, because of the way that we performed, like he beatboxed, we'd do like covers of pop songs but in like a quirky way. We got booked for a lot of like corporate gigs and weddings and stuff because it was like sometimes we'd look like waiters and then suddenly burst like one of them.
Oh my
Right.
god, I love
situation.
those. They
Flash
are so
mob
fun.
tees.
So-
Took
They
my
were
way
so
to singing
fun.
Poker Face. What's
Yeah,
going on?
What?
I'm gonna floor you. So it ended up working out quite well. So like we did a lot of gigs off the back of that. So I was never under the like pretense that I'm gonna be the next Harry Styles.
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, we'll
Yeah.
just keep it
Yeah.
going.
You-
whilst
You
we
don't
can.
have to be the most famous person in the world to still have a successful
100%.
singing
No,
career.
100%.
100%. And I think so. That's where we were. And then it was similar-ish for you, really. Like, less
Did you-
singing, but
right,
No,
so
no, I was
going
less
at it with
realistic and more
performing.
deluded tease, for sure. I basically, after getting not even onto live shows, was like, I think I need to ditch the group.
which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Wait,
and
I want to know, how does that happen? How does a girl band split
What's
up?
in a jar?
Do you? Yes. How does a girl band know what's in a jar? No. How do you?
how many
is
girl
it-
band members does it
take
take
to change a
to
jar?
drink a seltzer?
Is it a group text where you're like, I'm out? Is it a
No,
face-to-face meeting?
we were pretty much done
Right,
after
okay.
the show. As
Right.
in, we were in tatters. Even
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
show, everyone was like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Do we really want to be here?
Yeah.
So when I got taken out the group, I was kind of like, I can't
You got
go.
taken out of it.
I got taken
By
out.
you?
Yeah.
You took her
Yeah,
out.
in it. No, by. But when
Put
I
her in a
got taken
bargain
out-
bucket with no shoes on.
When I got taken out of the group by Simon, I got put in a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of knew this is it for me with
Yeah.
these lot. I can't come back
No,
to the
of
group
course.
after literally
Yeah.
being like,
But what about the new group though?
New girl
Oh no,
band.
the new girl band were in
Was
hell.
over before it
No,
started.
no,
So you
yeah.
just become new girl artist after that.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna stand there in my leaves and it's gonna work.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
it's gonna work. I don't need, in my head I was like, this is all just dead weight around me.
So did you went for like a solo career?
No.
You've never seen Drunk, have you?
I have.
Oh
I
my
think
God, empty head.
the music video.
Yeah.
I think I'm drunk.
I think so.
I'm
I
drunk.
think so.
Basically, I tried to have
I lived.
I tried to have a music career for -5 seconds and
It was iconic.
It's iconic. It is iconic.
It was
The
giving
gays ate it
stripper
up.
teeth.
It is iconic.
Obviously, the gays ate it up.
Yeah.
It was so good. She sang this song. I say sang, like she breathed this song.
Yeah, I didn't sing it.
And it goes, the song starts with empty hem. Sorry. I can't even, wait.
Sorry, this is fucking me.
Empty Henny bottles, yeah, I think I'm drunk. Empty Henny bottles, yeah, I think I'm drunk. And it was so iconic.
It was
That is
cunt
iconic.
though.
It
It
is
was.
cunt.
And
And
I was
she's there
like,
very much doing up like Nicki Minaj.
It was like Nicki Minaj
Anaconda
see-through
tees.
jump.
Right,
Do you
it's-
have
yeah,
a
it's
full-on music video? for
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, it's
on
good.
Grime Daily.
On
That we put,
Grindr?
like, money behind on Grindr.
To be fair, you'd have had more success, I think, if it
I would have
dropped
had
on
way
Grindr.
more success on Grindr for sure.
I lied.
Oh my God, yeah. And
It was good. It actually is good.
It,
Here's a question for you.
No.
It is.
Do you know what though? It
It's
was
recently
a
been
bar.
removed from Spotify, which makes you want to die.
It was a baddie
removed
ad.
from
No,
Spotify.
and to the point
I think for
where,
legal reasons.
as in to the point where there's like a collection of gays that
My
really
gays.
love it. I know it's your.
All my
and
gays
they-
in Manchester, the
Some
day
of the-
after it got removed from Spotify, messaged and were like, we were trying to play Drunk at the pre-drinks last night, and it's not there anymore. Can you
my
ask Ash
God.
what's
Can
going
you
on
ask
with it?
Ash what's going on?
She didn't even know it wasn't on Spotify anymore. We found out from my friend Jack
because they tried
in
to
Manchester
play it
because
at
he's
a
so obsessed
pre-
with
That's
it.
incredible.
Do you think
Yeah.
if Silent Cow turned around today and said, "Look, I'm going to put you first, headline a show," would
Yeah.
you drop everything to pursue your
What
career
have we
as a
got to
pop
drop?
star?
This pod. We're not doing anything. Yes, Simon. Cool.
Yes.
I'll just finish my breakfast and be on my way.
Hand me my palm leaves. I'm ready. 100%. No.
Palmer.
Palmer.
Is that like? I think what he means is like is
That's still the
reflecting
goal.
on that. Yeah, like is music still on your horizon, or is that like
Me
long
not
gone?
at all.
Okay.
I really enjoy singing still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I still...
I wish people enjoyed listening to you sing.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Yes.
No,
That's where
I'm-
it doesn't quite add up.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Because they get -3 views.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy doing it still,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I find particularly when I'm doing some work with like celeb interview stuff now, it works quite well for me to just have that as a string to my bow to be like, I can sing as well. So if it's a pop artist, like we can do a little song together, or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not. I've never been someone that's like, I need a single in the charts.
course.
I've never even asked you this. Like, would you, if somebody came up to you and said, I think you've got a great voice and was really high up in something and
Yeah.
said, would you do a single? Would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Do you know what it is?
It makes sense, though.
I have never been that passionate about songwriting.
Right.
So I feel like that's half the battle of like, it's not something where I'm going to pick up a guitar and start
Right.
writing down chords and lyrics and stuff.
If you were to write a song, it would be like a song that a Real Housewife. would
Empty
sing.
Henny
Oh,
bottles, yeah.
man. Yeah,
Empty Henny bottles, yeah, I think I'm drunk.
drunk.
Did
It'd
you
be
write
me
that
like,
yourself?
pink hooch, stick it up
my
your gooch.
Do you know? Do you know what my thought process behind Empty Any Bottles? I'll tell you exactly what it was. I basically at this time it was like the rise of Doja Cat.
Oh,
where
really?
she was just doing like
Bitch,
Just
I'm a
chatting-
cow
just
at that
chatting
point.
shit. Yeah, bitch. She went viral for singing "Bitch, I'm a cow,"
Yeah.
and I thought, I could do this.
So you looked
And
around
put on
you
a
and you
ta-
thought, oh, empty Henny bottle.
An empty
Yeah.
Henny bottle. I think I'm drunk. And then I put a tiny cap suit on and I gyrated for the music video, and it
so
worked.
brilliant.
Yeah, that
so
was
brilliant.
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of like musicians nowadays, they kind of get a following while showing that they have a musical talent, and then a label approaches, and then it's like they've got a single, and then it goes from there. Like, so it would make sense if someone were to approach you, then you
Yeah.
would go for it.
Yeah, I agree. I actually would love to see you doing that
Would
because
you
I
ever-
know you do have like the bug for it.
I like singing, yeah.
Yeah.
I've really realised I love doing what we do now, like
Yeah,
hosting
yeah,
and
yeah.
presenting events and
Yeah,
interviewing
yeah.
and stuff. Is
It's
like
so much
my
fun.
biggest passion.
It is.
Do you reckon you would ever sing together?
not live.
Oh my god, I think you should.
We could
so
lip
good.
sync together for sure.
Oh my god,
Ash struggles to come in on key.
Yeah.
So,
But once
unless-
I find the key, my God, I'm there.
once Ash finds the key,
the
night is a killer.
over.
That's what I mean. You're all done. You're done.
No, I would love to see that. Oh my god.
I would do that.
Didn't we have a conversation about
We
this?
did. There may be some.
Jack
there may-
randomly
no, no.
had a breakdown. Okay, fine.
Break through.
Okay,
Jack had another breakdown.
Okay, fine. Jack.
No, what you're wanting to say might happen. so
What
we're
you're
not-
wanting to
we're
say.
not.
I won't actually say what it was, but
Okay.
basically Jack was. Didn't you randomly ring me and say, should we both go for Christmas number 1? And I went, what?
The idea has come from someone else that there is a potential for us to maybe, like how
Like lad mom or whatever.
Drag Race.
Sausage,
Absolutely.
Sausage roll.
Oh, okay.
I see. Okay.
Nice skip.
Blankets. Yes.
How like Drag Race, for instance, will have one song but maybe sung in 2 different styles with different bands with
Yes.
the same words, whatever.
Yeah.
The concept of that, but with us maybe doing like a Christmas song
Okay.
where she does like a hoe version and I do
Empty eggnog bottle.
I was literally just about to say that. That's
That.
so
empty what ad hoc bottle.
Eggnog bottle.
I'm not even joking. That was about to leave
I
my
said
mouth.
that
Eggnog.
it would almost
Empty
be like a
eggnog bottles.
Santa baby type vibe.
Right, okay.
It would go off.
That's so iconic. Do you know-
Empty eggnog bottles is
one
so
time,
funny.
one time I was in LA in a taxi with Joe Baggs and Kyron, and
That's the seventh
That
circle
sounds
of hell.
that's every bad story.
and we genuinely were sat there like, if we just got like all of our TikTok friends to come together and we made a Christmas single,
Like
we could get
Band-Aid.
Christmas number 1, yeah. And then we were like, why don't we do this? And then we were planning it out. We were like, we can perform at Glastonbury.
Glastonbury, maybe.
But imagine if like all of us got together and just like made a single.
I'm not gonna lie.
Feed
all
them
I'm seeing is I'm seeing
turds.
dollar signs.
Yeah, in it,
I'm like,
What a good
what?
idea is that?
wearing cat suits.
No,
Yeah.
because it would be a full performance
Yeah.
and everyone would bring something
Oh,
different.
100%. Everybody sings like a different
Imagine
line.
Mason kind of
Oh my god.
Him.
Merry Christmas,
Ciao.
child.
Merry Christmas, child. No, he would be the outro.
Yeah.
And
No,
have a very Merry Christmas, child.
Christmas teas.
Go,
Christmas
and not
teas.
too much now.
And not too much now.
Christmas teas.
I think that's a plan. I think that this is our origin story.
We could so do that.
In it, like 100%.
Wait, that's genius. As
It's
in,
happening. It's happening. We're gonna get. The
I'll
rights
have
to a
my
song. It's
people
happening.
call your people. We have
But
to.
what an idea!
Yeah.
What an idea! Right, okay, back on topic.
Okay.
When
Actually,
did?
Can you
go on.
grab me a drink, please?
Yes, darling. What would you
Thanks,
like?
Puppet.
When-
Whatever. Surprise me.
Surprise.
For both of you separately, then, when I know Jack kind of said that he like got followers
mechanic
from the
now.
show and then
Yeah.
started to like post videos. When did content creation start for you?
Mine. Do you know what? There was no plan. I was still semi trying to nurture this shit music career. And the producer that I was working with was basically like, TikTok is the new thing.
For music.
Yeah. And I was like, it's such a kid's app. I don't care for it. This was
Fairly soon after it had come from Musically, yeah. So it was
yes,
still very-
yeah. And I was like, I think it's embarrassing. Like, I
Yeah,
don't want to do
that's
that.
what I said. I said the
And he
same.
was like, I know, but songs are blowing from this. And he was like, you also aren't a boring person. Like, you have a personality. So he was like, I think this is the route for you to go down. And I was like, honestly, I'm not asked. We spent like 6 months battling over this. Then eventually I was like, I might just like do the odd little thing on there. And at first I was trying to be like a full TikTok dancer because obviously I was a
Yeah, of
dancer.
course.
So I was doing all the embarrassing, like, like it was hell.
Are
And
they
then
still public?
they might
Probably are.
They
If you're
probably
watching this,
are.
make sure to go down and
back.
tag her
Wait,
in those.
scroll
So
all the way down. And then I started just talking shit on it because I was like, nothing was getting views anyway. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I've got nothing to lose. I don't care anymore. So I was just talking. And then all of a sudden, some of those videos started going viral.
Did you have a big one that you remember?
It was the Peaky Blinders one. I was basically saying how
was
much
the
I
first
wanted
big
Tommy
one?
Shelby to wear me as a hat. And everyone just collectively agreed. That one was like the first big one, I think. And then I was like, oh, this works. And obviously in that video, I was speaking like this to camera. And everyone was like, it feels like I'm on FaceTime
Yes,
with you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I love it. And I was like, so this is the secret formula.
Yeah.
And then I just started doing every video like that. But it was actually it was a really quick, like it happened really quickly. I didn't really, there was no plan.
When was this then? How long ago was this?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It wasn't long because I remember it still. You weren't blown up on TikTok when we did that. Your first proper ad together was Deliveroo with me at your old house.
Yeah.
And that was when you were in that flat. So less than 2 years ago.
Less than 2 years ago.
That's
wild. Up until how long ago is it now that you quit dancing? About a year and a half. About a year and a half ago, she was still straddling, doing. Straddling is the right word.
Tiny thong at the bar.
But like, but she'd be dancing.
True story.
She'd do like 3 nights a week dancing, and then be like,
Yeah.
"I'm knackered all the time."
Yeah. That's crazy. I
Because
remember
she was doing videos and stuff.
because I met you at the Brit Awards last year.
Is that where we met?
Yeah.
I met you
last year's Brit Awards.
Is
in
that
Edinburgh.
Yeah, yeah. I'd never met Ash before.
And Weird met.
Fringe.
Oh, well,
I
Weird met years
I met,
ago.
yeah.
Before you were ever doing content,
yeah,
but
yeah.
was
You
that
know
the
the
next time,
TikTok,
or I'd
yeah.
seen you since then?
I feel like we
was that last
maybe
year?
we're
Yeah,
having
two
two
different
separate
conversations.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Shit.
Sorry for the audio listeners. That must have been.
Sorry,
the
guys.
track is not skipping. Wait, what were you two saying? And then we'll go on.
No,
I'd
we
say we
were
met
saying
in
where we
Edinburgh.
met.
Oh, okay.
Cool story, bro. Yeah.
No, yeah. So I met Jack in, I want to say like 2019, when I was dating this boy, and he brought me to Freedom, and I was like, "What is this magical place?" Oh, and then he was like, "My friend's here," and I was like, "Oh my god, he seems insane." And you were like, "I just thought you were hilarious." And
He said
but
that
then
about me.
No,
That
no,
I was you thought I was.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
was this?
Freedom, obviously.
Freedom. And then I didn't see you for years. Obviously it was COVID. I didn't see you for years after that. And then I met Ash for the first time at the Brit Awards last year.
Right.
And that was when literally Brit Awards happened, so similar to this time last year.
Yeah.
And then about a few days later, I found out that I was going to Texas and got the names through, and you were on that.
Was that close together?
Yeah. It was literally in March.
do
We
not
went to
remember
Texas
that.
March last year, so this time last year.
No way.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
because
remember
we knew each other, but we weren't friends.
I knew you.
before going to-
I'd literally met you in person. I'd seen your videos. I'd met you once before
Right.
that, and it was very brief. Like, we're sat like 6 seats apart from each other at the Brits. Like, hi,
and we
nice
were
to
just
meet
like,
you.
yeah.
And that was it. And then we went to Texas, Mama, and that
And
was
the rest was histoire.
Ash.
Tex.
Literally, I need to tell you something about Ash. She steps into foreign waters, and every
become cloudy.
every insanely attractive man with a pulse their spidey senses start tingling.
Austria
And-
was crazy.
Oh my
for it.
god, you should have said.
That-
When I tell you we were in Texas, and I love my boyfriend more than anything in the world. I've never seen a more attractive man in my entire life in person ever. Every single thing about this man was AI. It was not real.
It actually was.
Everything about his personality,
Yeah.
his dress sense,
Yeah.
his looks, his build, everything.
He was
Text
not.
Andrew and tell him I love him
He
in a
was
minute.
chiseled.
He was not a real person.
He was chiseled by the gods, and we were like, "Is he?
And
he
who
gay?"
helped me get him?
Me.
Mason.
Well, yeah, I tried. I literally
Mason.
Mason
The
walked
next
right
picture
over-
right fit. I'm sorry, brother. I don't understand.
Mason walked over like
Oh
this
my god!
and went, "My girl, my girl,
Well, listen here,
girl
Chad.
thinks you're really gorgeous, child." And it worked. How did that work?
When I
don't
tell
know.
you, the funniest experience of my life. Picture like the most American boy ever. He was like born and raised in Texas, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But he like lived out there, but he was back for this event that we were there for.
Like a young Louis Walsh.
Yes. Like an old
All
show.
American.
Yes.
He was literally like just there, like visiting. He meets the love of his life, Ash. He wants nothing more than to take her home and treat her nasty.
Oh my god, this was
We
so
Put some
funny.
boots on her.
Yeah, put some boots on,
And a
get
hat.
them walking,
Go to
baby.
Kimosabe, baby, and get her a leather hat.
And we end up back at our hotel, and this guy is with you, but as well as this, his friend is there, and me and Mason. We go back to
Yeah.
Mason's like, come back to my room, child.
The
So
way
we
that you
go
do his voice as Mickey Mouse is so
I love
funny.
Mason.
Where's Minnie?
It's just late stages Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it was.
We go back to Mason's room. Mason hilariously invites us all to his room, then realizes it's in the biggest shit tip of all time.
It's
Runs
the worst
upstairs
thing
ahead
ever.
of us and is throwing things into his wardrobe to try and make it look relatively nice. We get in and we're still like, oh, there's food everywhere, but it's fine. It is what it is. And
It was
then,
bad.
And then me and Mason and this guy's friend go onto the balcony to give Ash and this guy some privacy. And the entire time, me and Mason are terrorizing this poor boy.
Oh my God, it was
who
so-
was like an innocent wallflower who was like on the soccer team, born and raised in Texas, such
Bear
a
in
lovely
mind,
guy.
he's only there because his poor mate has pulled. So
Yeah.
it's just that.
His
that
poor mate.
Yeah, yeah,
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, well,
Adonis.
yeah, he's Adonis of a man carved by marble. Had pulled, so he was literally taking one for the team,
Yeah.
and being like, "I have to come
Yeah,
along,
because we
otherwise."
could be weirdos. That,
Yeah.
Well, cut to.
I-
we are.
Yeah, could be.
Absolutely,
And the thing
are.
You and Mace. Wells, job.
We're on the balcony with this poor boy, and we're going, so why have you come back here this evening? And he's
Oh my
like,
God.
oh, just to like help out my friend. You know, I didn't want to leave him by himself. This guy is the nicest guy ever. And we're going, so when did you realize that you wanted to fuck your best friend?
It is. As in, Mason, as in, I could hear snippets of this conversation. Bear in mind, this is also the end of the night, so we are down bad.
Oh,
by this
it's 5
point.
a.m. Easy.
It's 5 a.m.
Easy.
Every now and again, I just hear it going from, yeah, so I like to play football. And then Mason goes, and at what point did you find out you were gay?
And he's like, Mason's fully going, he's going, so you came, I remember so vividly, Mason, when he went, so you came back here to sneak a look, didn't you?
This poor boy.
And he's
is
going, no.
He's going, no. He said, I came here from my friend. I'm telling you, I came. And Mason's going, but that's a lie.
He's going, this is a safe space.
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny.
The
lie
great.
detector says.
The way that this man did not like lamp us one, I have no idea,
No.
but it was so iconic. You like did whatever you did with that, a gorgeous man, and he is
Read
the
the
most.
Bible.
He was literally.
Lord knows we did.
Oh. He was the most gorgeous man I've ever seen in my life, like truly.
He was insane.
And that's when I should have known that. Again,
were,
as soon as you're in foreign waters, the aroma travels.
I just don't understand though, because it doesn't work in England, which is where I need it to work. Like I can't only have it work in foreign waters.
we got to Austria, and every man who worked in the hotel, and then every like restaurant we went to
Fell
afterwards,
under her spell.
Yeah.
literally all just gravitated.
Like-
voodoo.
Yeah.
It was.
You are my voodoo
I
child.
have a little ash voodoo doll covered in palm leaves, so I just do spells on before
Your
I
mum does.
yeah, in it. That's oh God, that's
That might
so
be why.
true.
Maybe that's something to it. Can we say this?
Yeah, you can say it.
So we hate Ash's mum.
Yeah.
As in,
a
actually, we
bitch.
actually hate her.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
And she was like, hasn't been alive for years and years and years. But she got a voodoo doll.
Ever since New Girl Band.
Yeah,
It was basically, yeah, she was
which is a valid
embarrassed.
reason to not speak to me, to be fair.
And she like
Yeah.
told Ash when Ash was a kid that she'd like put spells on this voodoo doll and stuff, which her
She
mum
said
really
that she had a
believed
little
in.
ash voodoo doll.
So just an ash voodoo
So
doll.
that she
maybe,
put spells
but
on.
maybe it's that.
Maybe it's
She's
that.
put a spell on it.
I
for
will
you
never
in the
find
UK.
a man in the UK, but foreign waters.
But
Yeah.
twist it, boom.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So you're gonna have to move. That's fine. We can move.
That's fine. I could do that.
the spell of the travelling puss.
right.
That.
That's she.
That's
That's
the final
really
Harry Potter
Austrian.
book.
Yeah, it is.
So have you
The
heard
The goblet
from,
of ash.
Have you heard from your Austrian boyfriend since leaving?
Have you
Yeah,
what?
we
Said,
still
have you
follow.
heard from his
Yeah, we
Austrian
still
boy-
follow each
Austrian?
other.
Really?
We do still follow each other, but I mean, who cares?
Literally, I
once I
cannot-
leave the foreign lands, I don't care
But
anymore.
I can't
So
tell you all
funny.
how everywhere we turned, there was a man opening the door for Ash, asking her what she wanted, asking her how she wanted it, saying like, "Are you free later?" Saying,
Over
"Can I-"
easy.
saying, "I'm on
Yeah,
shift
well.
right now. I'm on shift right now, but I'll meet you in the store cupboard."
That bit was crazy.
That
All
was
of
bad. It
the
wasn't
above.
even I'll meet you after. It was I'm on shift, so
Yeah, get into the cupboard.
Store cupboard.
And you said, well, yeah.
Yeah.
The room bit is so good.
Tell
the story.
We told this story on our pod.
No,
it's
we've
so
told
iconic.
this story so many times. Basically, what I was...
Basically, if you want to hear the full, like, half an hour long story, then go to
Yeah.
Ash's podcast,
Like and subscribe,
Antics with Ash. Yeah. Whereas if you want, like, a debrief version, basically, this man who worked at the hotel bar had been throwing himself at you the entire trip. On the last night, it was finally time for you to secure the deal. You, as we have noticed, when you drink, you go from like a beautiful princess into a burly gay man.
Into a gay man.
So, which isn't really the best the best
the
circumstances to seduce a straight man in. When they
She
come
literally,
over.
oh my god, that is such a good. As in, as soon as she has had, she only
As soon
drinks
as the
tequila
clock strikes
shots.
12.
Legit.
And
And she drinks, as soon as she's had, I would say the sweet spot's about 5 tequila shots because
The
she's only
carriage turns
pocket
back into a
size.
pumpkin.
She goes,
Yes,
suddenly,
it does.
she suddenly
It
comes
does.
out the curtain and goes, yes, motherfucker, yes, haggity, yes. And she starts, she'll go, film me, and she'll come around the corner going, yackity,
The way
all these straight men are there like, oh my god,
my God, I've
she's
got tears in
melting.
my eyes. That is
the
so
way
funny.
I saw this man basically communicate to Ash like, right, I get off at this time. Let me know your room number.
And we'll get off at this
Right.
time.
No,
Yeah,
it was like I get off at this
It's not
time.
morphed into your gay form by then.
It was like, let me know your room number. We'll sort it all out. And Ash, no word of a lie, looked him up and down with the most menacing smile you can imagine, and just went, well, yes.
And this man was going,
He was like,
tell me your room number then.
Ash. So
And I
long
went,
story short,
I'll see you
In court.
my room.
long story
But
short,
didn't tell
Ash
him
never
the
actually
number
told him
of anything.
anything.
I gave him not a single coordinate,
No.
not a number, not a place, not a meeting.
X-axis, Y-axis,
No,
all
not
out the
a
window.
time, nothing.
So he finished his shift. Ash is in my room with me and Andrew.
with the red wig on.
with a red bob wig on, living it
What
large.
are you calling you, Bob?
Literally living it large. Probably like
God.
dancing to like Girls Aloud on the TV or something. And meanwhile, this guy is like messaging her like, where are you? Like, I have no idea. Like, where are you?
are
You can only contact her on Grindr at this point.
He just ended up leaving. And then the next morning, we drove past him
that
as we
was
were leaving.
heartbreaking.
that.
We were on this big bus back to the airport.
But why were you gaslighting him
and he's
so
like,
much?
he's like this on his
No,
phone.
because
Yeah.
I thought we had time. I don't know what I thought we had
don't know
time
what you-
for in the morning.
We were getting on the bus.
But I don't know, I was hungover and just thought I felt so bad that I had not secured this man. And he'd basically been like traipsing around the hotel trying to knock on doors to find me. And I was in fucking Max and Andrew's room with a
Watching the
red-
Saturday's Greatest Hits Mega Mix on telly.
Literally. I can't tell you how accurate that is.
So he messaged me being like, I've been looking everywhere for you. Like I had to go home. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I felt bad. So I said, can you see us before, like, can you come and meet us before we have to fly home?
In the morning.
Yeah, but obviously we were all just in such a bad way that morning. There was no time to do anything. We basically came down and got straight on the bus, and I didn't realise that would be the case. He went, I'm coming now.
As in,
my
not,
God,
it wasn't
guys.
at work that day either. That was the point.
No, he
No,
travelled in.
Hence why he was in his playing
He
out
commuted.
yeah,
he was
he
in his-
commuted from his little snow hut shack.
Not him being Pingu.
And we were all on the bus and we just fell apart.
He was just stood there looking at his phone, like looking around for you.
It was so
bad.
Yeah, because we were
poetic.
on a bus with tinted windows,
Yeah.
so we could
Yeah.
see him.
Yeah.
He couldn't see us, and it was
So
just him going.
iconic.
And one of you, I might have been you, Max,
I
went,
think I
oh my
spotted
God,
him.
he's
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And the whole bus just fell apart at this poor man just there on his phone like this, trying to look for me. And we were all just on this bus in tears.
It was so great.
Oh,
it was so great.
You've probably given him like proper emotional damage there.
Maybe. Yeah, I know. I've given myself years.
She probably gave him whiplash from the voguing. It was so
And he gave her
great.
tens across the
it,
wall.
it was me in the store cupboard. that
Oh, it was so
killing me.
iconic, so iconic.
was
So
so
that's your life as a burly gay man.
A burlesque dancer.
Yes. And now to speak about your life as a incredibly straight woman. You were on Locked In. I'll
Yeah,
let George
you
ask the
would.
Locked In question.
Which I had such a good time on.
How was your experience?
What
Like
were
looking back on it.
The best and worst. You have to give just best and worst. Yeah.
So your best
you
and worst
malfunctioning?
experience.
Yeah, George is definitely control alt deleting.
So what was your best and worst experience in Locked In?
I will tell you what my worst is. Okay. I'll just say the worst. No. Do you know what? I'm glad I did it. Whenever anyone says, are you glad you did it? Would you do it again? I'm glad I did it. Would not do it again.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just, it was already such a different audience to what I'm used to. So I never knew how I was going to be received when I went in there. I was a bit apprehensive about it because I was like, this is so different to the people that consume my content.
Yeah.
Like Locked In is primarily like YouTube people, football lads. And I was like, they're going to hate me. Like they're just not going to get me. The one thing I will say is I didn't have any bad comments off of the show. Like I was received really well, which I was grateful for. I just felt, what to even say? It's just none of my gays were there. I felt like everything, my humour, the shit that I find funny and entertaining, and
That
just
was what was wild.
everything about it was so different.
of them just cutting bits of you going, and the thing is,
No,
but
the thing
and
is,
everyone's
it.
just there like,
And
No, this is
everyone's
exactly
like-
what happened. So I'm watching it, and like she'll say certain things that will make the edit that I don't even know the editors knew were like funny pop references or whatever. And she'd say them, and they might as well have just put tumbleweed on the screen.
Yeah.
So you've got everyone else sitting in there just being like, oh yeah, like
So
Air
like,
Force
what did you
50s or
think of
whatever.
that game, that like
Yeah.
Man United something, and I'm
Yeah.
going,
And you're like, well, yes, Vogue Mama House down booze. And I just remember thinking, like, if this is only 45 minutes or an hour of what 24 hours
I
is and
spent
nothing is
2
landing.
weeks
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. It was.
is there a women/gay alternative foot asylum that could do a
There should
similar?
be.
There should be.
Yeah, there should be.
Because
That's
how
like
many
a-
seasons is it now and there's
sort
been
of
no
house or
gays?
something.
Yeah. There's
Like
been
that.
no.
I don't know.
Yeah, on
There
Foot
really should
Asylum's
be.
thing, there's not been a single gay person, has there?
Don't think so.
No.
There's not been like a single like
But
girly girl.
But
and-
even if they bring those people in, like Ash said, that it's not it's not the same audience. If say you had
For sure.
know,
Like, would we want to
whatever
put
account.
ourselves up for
I
something
don't
like that?
know
That's
if
what you
you
mean.
would.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't,
and
definitely not.
I completely understand
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This
the
is-
audience is just so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would translate.
Yeah.
what brand would work for that?
I think that there's so many. I think it's
We
it doesn't-
must
the
make
brand.
that.
It's not.
Imagine if it did
thing
a
is,
Grindr
it's,
house.
It's not about the brand. It's about the casting. Grindr.
Yeah,
Like,
it
in terms
is.
of,
It
like,
is about the
Asylum's
cut.
audience before Locked In was a thing. Was
Yeah, but that's
like-
because of who they'd chosen to collaborate with up until that point. Foot Asylum is shoes. Everyone wears shoes.
Yeah, you're
It's-
right.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's-
yeah.
it's also very like Hood Richie sort of tracksuits and
What does
Yeah.
Hood Richie mean? I
No,
don't-
that's
well, maybe there,
point
there we
proven.
go.
Well, there you go.
There we
It's
go.
Shane Richie's
And the thing is-
husband.
it's when he gets home from work. Hood
Shane
Richie.
Richie's husband.
I'm trying
no,
to think.
you're right though. As in
ASOS.
they cultivated that audience by
Yeah.
who they work
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
I agree.
ASOS.
I agree.
ASOS, where's your house? Where do you live? No, something like that though. But that should happen. We're putting that out
I
into the
agree.
universe. I
Yeah.
think that would be great. And I think that I think that viewers would be like producers and stuff would be shocked at how well something like that would
I
do.
agree.
It would do so well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I found in there? I didn't realise how much of a head fuck it would be to be in one place for 2 weeks.
It's a long time.
It is.
It honestly,
With no
that
phone.
was the hardest thing. It wasn't about the people, it wasn't about anything.
Like mentally.
It was mentally.
Yeah.
I had no idea I was going to find it that hard.
Yeah.
It gave me a whole new perspective on people that do things like Love Island and, you know, like have a mental breakdown in there. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
that-
watching it like get a grip.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a bit
I
more
get
crazy
it.
thing about Love Island because you're not just in there being like,
It's
right, I just want
worse.
to exist.
Oh my
you're like,
God.
right, I've also got to try and pursue people that
You're
I don't even
also-
know if I'm that
Otherwise I
interested
get
in.
booted
Dating,
off.
yeah, dating on national TV and being parred off like left, right, and centre for like
Yeah.
I could
And at
couldn't.
least with Locked In, like you knew Joyce from outside, you met George before and
Yeah.
stuff. Love Island is literally complete
Strangers,
randoms
yeah.
who have usually
would
got
be
no following
horrible.
beforehand,
Yeah.
so they don't know each other.
The
That is
thought
awful.
of that is awful.
I would hate
to me.
it. I would
Yeah.
hate all of the above, I think.
How did
And
you?
the fact that they don't have they don't let you look at the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you
Oh.
cope with that? Like, and actually, like, what did you do?
Fuck all. Genuinely. So when you're not doing a challenge, you're just shitting about the house, being silly.
Did nobody ever like, I want to leave? Was nobody like, please let me leave?
Danny
now?
Aaron's the whole time was like, I want to go.
Really?
He was actively acting up to go, but he
Right.
was. We were all kind of in the same boat where it was not in our nature to quit. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't quit because
Yeah.
that's shit. But I was like, if I got voted out,
It is what it is.
like, wouldn't
Because you
mind.
find often people say that, particularly on Celeb Big Brother, when they know, because it's the same,
Yes.
you know, when you've had your fee with Celeb Big Brother or I'm a Celeb, you get paid regardless. As long as you
Yeah.
don't quit,
Yeah.
you get paid regardless. So
Yeah.
they're always very much like, oh, I can't wait. Like, I really hope, please vote me out. And a lot of the time you're like, oh, they're just doing that as a coping mechanism of like, so it's not embarrassing when I do get voted out. And then
No.
actually it makes you wonder, having chatted to you post locked in, of like, no, that I came in for the money, to have my face out there a little bit more, and I've done all those things. So whether I'm here for another week or not makes no difference to me.
100%.
I just get to not completely lose my sanity if I go home now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
God,
exactly
it's
how
so
I felt.
interesting, isn't it?
You're gym goer, aren't you? Like,
Yes.
you go. What was that like in there?
Again, that's what I found really hard, because you say to the producers that basically what you have to do is in the morning, they literally, there's a mic man at the end of your bed, and it was like a known thing that the minute, bless him, he's just
"Hi,
a
my name's
guy,
Mike." Nice.
he's just a man with a job who works a sound technician.
Yeah.
Every time we saw his face in the morning, we'd go, fuck off, because it's like, I've just opened my eyes,
Yeah.
and there's a sound man there like ready to mic you up and catch
Jeez,
everything
yeah.
you're saying, and it just feels, obviously that's literally what you sign up for.
Yeah.
Fair.
Does he wake up, or is he literally waiting for you to?
He's literally
Tickling
like-
your feet with a
Yeah.
microphone.
But it feels like that. It almost feels
Invasive.
that invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though you're so aware that that's what you sign up for,
Yeah.
but you just don't realise. I almost thought that half of it might be a little bit fake.
Yeah.
And it actually wasn't. And then I was like, oh shit, I actually did sign up for this.
Yeah. Jeez.
But yeah, so they mic you up, and the whole thing is you're meant to kind of get ready for the day straight away. Obviously, they put you in foot asylum clothes and do all that. And the point is they want you ready for whatever challenge they throw at you. So it's much easier to have the house, especially when you're trying to navigate a group of boys. All the girlies have got a shower, do their makeup,
Yeah.
do this, do that. They want you to get ready straight away. I said, if I'm going to keep any shred of sanity in this house, you have to let me even just do like a little circuit in the garden
Yeah.
or something. And that was so difficult, because they were like, we need you to get ready. But then you're waiting the whole day for the challenge to happen, then they might have a guest come in to be doing it, blah, blah. Then by the time you've got to the end of the day, you haven't, and I was like, you told me at some point I'd be able to work out or do something for my head.
Yeah.
And you just can't.
But they almost want you to crack, though, don't they?
Yeah, for
Right,
sure,
yeah.
100%. Otherwise, I feel like there's no show.
Yeah.
If
If everyone's just saying and jogging about and having a good time, then
if everyone's
that's
just
not
having
fun.
a jolly old time,
Yeah.
it's not exciting.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what you brought in there to do, but it's a different reality living it.
Yeah, totally.
God.
I'm
I
not
think that
gonna-
you did really well, though. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that
You did. You
you
came across
persevered,
so
and it was
great.
obvious that you were out of your comfort zone, but you didn't seem like you're out of your comfort zone.
Okay, good.
If you get what I mean. From
me
what I
to
saw.
me to welfare every night. Like, can we have a chat? Honestly, but you know, even the boys were like that though. They were. I think,
George told me he cried like
a
a
lot.
few times.
I
yeah.
saw George cry a lot.
I told you
Yeah.
that in confidence.
Not you.
I was just watching it.
in it. No, I think that was the main thing. It was that it wasn't like anybody was having the most awful time there. It was that they didn't realise the mental challenge
Yeah.
that it would be. And I think everybody had this impression of, oh, we're going in as creators, so surely they're not going to be complete, you know, like
Yeah.
almost we thought the minute the cameras were kind of off for the night, I don't know what I thought it'd be
Yeah.
like banquet dinners
Yeah.
and like, you know,
Yeah.
giving me facials and
Yeah.
spas. But like, I think we just didn't realise how seriously they meant it. They were
God.
like, you're literally locked in. It's the whole point of the show. We were like, right, I never knew that. What?
God,
Yeah.
I
What?
couldn't.
I never do that.
Yeah, what? I never knew that.
Well done to you for getting through
Thanks,
it.
Charlie.
Honestly, wild.
No, it was a really fun time. I tell you what, the dog challenge.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I couldn't have done that, I don't think.
Do you really?
You know I don't.
Yeah, I loved every second of it because I'm obsessed
Yeah,
with
you
dogs. So
are.
I literally, as in they were like actual rabid beasts, and I was like, "Can I play with them at the end?"
It was just all over your eye, like
Every
Yeah.
country we go to, like we were in India, where there were so many street dogs that looked like they were on the verge of death.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd be like, "Oh yeah, let me go over and like kiss it and play with it." And I'm like, "You will just die." She also doesn't have. She never gets health insurance when we travel. So I know
Health insurance is for pussy class.
Okay, rabies is not.
That is not endorsed by the Useless Hotline.
Yeah.
in it.
Or the World Health Organization.
Yeah, I remember when we was at Soho House, we were just like, it was like chaos. At that,
you
no,
said the
Soho
rabid
Farmhouse,
dog came
sorry.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soho Farmhouse.
Oh yeah.
And there was that dog,
Yeah.
and I would just occasionally be like, "Where is Ash?" And you were just led on the floor with this giant golden retriever all over you. Bear in mind, the golden retriever stank
Dang.
so bad,
Stank.
and it was just
Wow.
all over you.
Yeah, it's
But I
mean.
was like, that's fine. That's honestly fine. It gives me so much serotonin. Yeah.
We love it. We love
We
it.
love
Anything
it.
else about Locked In?
Back to Locked In.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you
Go on.
still talk to the people that you were in the house with?
I do actually. I mean, as you all probably could tell, me and Joyce got on so well in that house. I honestly don't feel like I could have done it without Joyce. I think with the girlies, actually I speak to 10 here and there. Shannon I speak to a lot. Me and Shannon went on a whole night out, and she actually had to carry me home
whole
from the
one?
box. A whole night.
Completed
not
the
even
whole
just
night
today. Yeah, I was really bad. Shannon, I think, is great. I don't have a single bad word to say about anyone
That's
that
good.
was on it. Like, we actually really got on. Even the producers were like, we had a bit of a tough time this year because none of you wanted to beef each other. As in, no matter how much we were kind of planting seeds of...
I think it was
Yeah.
obvious in like the clips that I saw, like the whole thing with Joyce and George when it was like a challenge and
Yeah.
she had to be pissed off at him. But the way that was put out as if it was actual beef,
Yeah.
showed kind of that
'Cause
they
that
were,
was the
they were
only
pulling
beef
at
that they
straws
had, yeah.
to
It
It's
was
like
also
kind
quite irresponsible in my opinion because the way that that's taken out of context.
I agree.
I agree. That's what I said.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
we had Joyce on and said the same thing.
Yeah, it definitely was. But yeah, I think in terms of actually, I think so many of the girls, for example, like they're young. Like Casey's really young.
How old are they?
Casey's
was 18,
literally
wasn't she?
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I thought she
got
was
like
at least
two
like
brands
21.
Yeah,
under
bear
her
in
name,
mind
like-
that was multiple businesses.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she's
my
a trillionaire. She's
God.
an icon.
That is wild.
But that's what we were saying, is in
She was
beyond
killing me.
beyond
Oh my
the
God.
like not being around each other and like being around her mates and stuff.
Yeah.
Our sense of humor naturally is going to be the same as those who are the similar age to you. You're
Yeah.
a
Oh,
yeah,
decade
shit, you'll be
older than
like-
Casey.
yeah.
So like, what are you going to have,
What
in,
do you have
common?
in common?
Yeah,
That's
exactly. So I
hard.
think I see loads of comments floating about of being like, I don't see you doing as much with the locked in people. Like, is there beef? I'm like, there's no beef at all.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like so many of us are in completely different realms.
You
Yeah.
weren't put into the house together as an already established group.
No,
Like you spent
no.
2 weeks together.
Yeah.
And
don't
also,
then
do
have
you
to-
not find as well that YouTube is such a different beast to other socials? Like, I find I was at a premiere event last week, and there were quite a lot. Like Shannon was there actually, and like, a lot
Oh,
of the YouTubers.
really?
Yeah, it was really nice to see them all, and I get on with all of them. But because they're YouTubers, primarily YouTubers, and our stuff is like Insta and TikTok.
Yeah.
Weirdly, those paths just don't seem to cross very
They
much.
don't.
Like,
Yeah.
even I was
No.
chatting to Becky, Bambino Becky, like maybe last year. In fact, it might have been she said she'd been talking to you, and it was you or someone was basically being like, "You need to get on Instagram. You need to be doing more TikToks,
Yeah,
whatever."
yeah.
And she was like, "I don't know how to do it."
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is so
I
wild,
find
because
it
you can
mad.
be amazing at YouTube.
In the same way as I don't know how
literally,
to
she
map
said,
over.
she said it to me. I think
Yeah.
we were at some sort of event and she was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, you are literally
you do
a
look
very
at you.
naturally funny person.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for like 6 years.
Yeah.
How can you not just make a short form video of what you're doing? But she was like, I feel nervous
Totally.
about making a TikTok. And I was like, that
Really?
is mad.
And then we're the exact opposite.
That's
because
nice
we-
to hear, because I thought that
Yeah.
it was us not
No,
being
no,
able
it's
to
very
take
common.
it to
No.
long form, because I feel like
No,
who's
it's so
going to want to
common.
listen to me?
They all feel the same way coming the other way. Yeah,
Really?
because we have recently just launched a YouTube channel. But we are finding a similar thing where loads of the comments, which is really nice, we were so anxious of being mindful that everyone's attention span is like this
Yeah.
nowadays, that the
Yeah.
episodes are all like 11 to 15 minutes long, and the most of the comments are saying, why is this not an
Oh,
hour?
yeah, literally.
Why are these 12 minutes long? And we're like,
Half-hour
because we
video,
didn't
you
think
can get away
anybody
with
would
crazy.
be
But we
asked
couldn't
about
believe
it.
We were like, there's no way.
So we've
people
trimmed and
are
trimmed
gonna
and
have
trimmed
the
and made it
attention
like
span.
a laugh a second, because we're like, we couldn't possibly just have 10 seconds of us walking and saying something that isn't hilarious, because people are going to tune off at that point. But YouTube is a different beast.
It's a different viewership. It's
Yeah.
it's completely different.
Which we're still having to learn.
Even if it's the same person, they digest that content in such a different way.
Which is
Like,
actually really
when I
interesting.
started to do YouTube, I started like just over a year ago, and then I did it for like maybe 3 months, if that, and then I just stopped entirely. And it was going well, like I was enjoying it. Like
Right.
the last video that I did was that with you, the Dance Moms one that I did.
Yeah.
It was on like 500,000 views, and I was like, and then I just stopped because I like so much was taken off, but it did just feel like extra.
It's more to commit
like,
to.
It
because
was
there's
so
more
much.
of it.
it was different.
Yeah.
I also found it quite like it just wasn't me at that time. Whereas now, like after a year of like having a podcast and like doing stuff like that, now I feel like I'm more in the space to do it.
Yeah. Sure.
So starting it up again. Hi, subscribe. But no, it's such a different thing. Like also, if you look at like YouTube, for example. A lot of your humor comes from off the cuff, in the moment, in a conversation. That is TikTok.
Yes.
That is, I've just had this thought, let me say it right now. As opposed to, right, so I've got this funny idea. Someone like George, for example, nobody gives a shit about anything that he's saying if it's in a
all.
conversation. He has to pre-plan every joke that he comes up with. He's literally got them all written down. You just can't say it. Yeah. No, but it's a different frame of mind where it's like, right, I'm going to plan this shoot, I'm going to get this person in, and then this person can do this, and then we'll all do this, and then the thumbnail can look like this, and then we'll do that. Whereas my brain is like, this is happening right now, let's do it.
Yeah.
100%. And so is ours. And I think we're really having to mold it to the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm just
Yeah.
lucky because I've always been a massive YouTube nerd. But also,
Right.
like, if you look at how my TikToks have always been, even before this whole minute payment thing came,
Yeah.
which is really annoying because it came in the year after I sort of dropped off on TikTok and started focusing more on YouTube. But they've always been like a minute and a half, because I've been like, I've got this idea that I want to sort of make jokes about.
Right.
And then I've been like, I kind of want to make more jokes about it, so I need to, but I can't. I need to like sort of trim it down and stuff. So I've always been like, I need to make longer.
But
and
that's
try and
so
trim it
Because
good
down.
you're
that
coming
people-
from that mindset. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
possibly fit this into a minute.
Like he
Yeah.
grew up
Yeah.
watching YouTubers. I
Right.
didn't.
Well, I did. I grew up watching like Zoella and that whole world
Yeah.
of the obviously not the same kind of YouTubers that you would, but like
Brick
it was
Crew,
longer
they called
form
something like that,
content.
weren't they?
And yeah, it's,
But I feel like they were just more like lifestyle people of like, I'm filming just what I'm doing and whatever
Right,
happens.
yeah.
Whereas like the people that he grew up
Unboxing
watching is
stuff.
more like, this is the punchline, now we're doing this, and now like this is
Right.
happening.
Well,
It's
also
just,
my
it's
bo-
just a different landscape now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that still, I think you can still see the elements of how that worked, that sort of like Chubby Bunny challenge and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's now more second channel content for people that have got this like dedicated
right.
viewership.
Yeah,
And then the
that's
main
so
channel
true.
stuff is like stuff that's applicable to everyone. They're like, oh, okay, I guess I'd watch that, as opposed to being like, oh, it's that person, I guess I'll watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think it can be so toxic because it's definitely shaped being primarily a TikToker first, has definitely made me have this weird mindset of nobody gives a shit past
Yeah.
40 seconds.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
not true.
And it's so shit because they do.
Yeah, it's just the way that like algorithms work.
Yeah.
And it's just like getting that like different kind of viewership over there. Also,
Yeah.
I think that people underestimate how difficult it is to get someone from one platform to another. Like we can say, oh my gosh, come over to our, like we've got a podcast together. We've had it for a year. I've got
Yeah.
3.5 million TikTok followers. He's got like 10 TikTok followers. There's no, but he's got
Minus
like
10.
he's got like hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers,
Yeah.
and like our podcast is on like 80,000 subscribers. Like whereas
82.3, I believe.
there we
That's
go, we're
really
getting hopefully
lit.
getting to 100. But like you would think,
Right.
Yeah.
especially we've been doing this for a year, like
is
it's
that not a
harder
million?
than it's
Yeah.
harder than you would. But I mean, it's a different beast. You tackle it, and it's a lot more work in a different way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just
yeah.
different, and as soon as you have to throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, trial and error, listen to other people, and then you'll get there in the end. But
Yeah.
we're all fighting the good fight, mama.
No,
We are,
baby.
Well,
It's
speaking of that,
hard.
anyway, the Jack and Ash show.
Yes.
The reason we are all here today. I want to know when this idea came about.
Yeah.
What were the stages in actually creating it, and how you feel about the finished product now? Because I was obviously there on the night. Best time ever.
So
But I want to hear the origin story.
Yeah.
yeah. So the origin story was whenever we travel together, whether that's on like work trips or just us traveling on holiday, there's always some kind of calamity. Like there's always some moment for some reason that goes viral because either the plane reroutes or someone...
Naturally.
Yeah.
There was just so many issues every single time, or something happens abroad, blah, blah, blah. So when we've been doing a lot of like TV commissioning, pitching meetings and stuff, it keeps coming up of like, oh, a travel related show, you know, like there's the Amanda and Alan one, or there's like the Hairy Bikers or whatever, or there's Jack Whitehall and his dad, but there's not one with like that would hit our audience that is people that are as young as us doing it, whatever.
Well, Joe and Casper did, didn't they? That was their first thing that Joe and
Right.
Casper
Yeah.
did,
And
right?
like it works. Like there's so
Yeah.
much to be enjoyed about it.
I think we felt particularly also, it resonated with us because every time we went away, it was an overwhelming amount of people would always say the same thing. It was just like, oh my God, seeing you at the airport makes me gasp because
Yeah.
I know it's just going to be
Chaos.
tomfoolery for
Yeah.
a week. And it almost like takes you out of your mundane 9 to 5 or whatever. And we were
Yeah.
like, oh, I just love, we kept saying it every time we went away. I love that we're making people feel that way.
Yeah.
Surely we need to bottle this up and do something with it.
And also that we aren't the kind of people that just want to go away for 2 weeks and line it on all inclusive and not do anything.
Yeah.
Like
No.
we very much get stuck in, meet locals, really get to know locals quite well, Mama.
well, yes. How else would you immerse
Ain't no
yourself in the
Texas.
culture?
Whoa! And so, yeah, it was all that. And we were having these conversations, and the commissioners just time and time again would be like, yep, sounds sick. But unfortunately, as we know, it's hard to get anything commissioned and picked up unless you're like a huge David Attenborough level name. And B, the last thing they want to do if they're putting a small amount of money into something as a pilot is commission a travel show because it costs way more money than doing something in the UK. So I happened to be approached by the tourism board for Finland,
Of course.
last year.
Naturally.
Well, yeah. And they basically said, we'd love for you to come. You can bring a +1. It wasn't paid, but it wouldn't cost me anything to do. They would basically put on the best show to show like what Finland has to offer in the hopes that I would then share it on my social media and people would be like, oh, Finland's a destination I maybe hadn't have thought about before, but I would now. So I was like, hang on, rather than just saying, well, obviously I'm going to take Ash because we're joined at the hip, why don't we think about how much it would cost to take a production company with us, because we've already got our flights, accommodation, food,
Sorted.
tour guides, everything there is paid for. So we're at zero.
We also said it's the perfect way to do a city because they're actively wanting to make us do all of these really niche
To show
Finnish
it
on
experiences
local.
to show.
I did the same with the south like border of Australia.
Yeah.
One time where I went
Right.
to South Australia, not like the main bits or
Right.
anything. I'm there like in the outback, like
Yeah, sick.
eating
Which is-
kangaroo
Yeah,
and stuff, and
yeah.
it was the most mesmerising experience
And in
ever.
what world
and I
would you
wish
have
that
to
I
have
had
done that otherwise?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know?
never. And I wish that I had like a production crew.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
So we
Yeah.
were just like, we are fortunate enough in a position that we'd saved up with a lot of the work that we had been doing and gone, weighed it up. We have a brilliant mate who's a producer, which worked really well. And so we were just like, right, we'll self-fund this situation, take them out with us. We had 2 camera guys and a sound guy. And it was like September, October, and it was honestly like the best 4 days ever. It was absolutely jam-packed. Like we were knackered by the
was
end
it
of
only
it.
4 days and you did all of that?
Yeah.
No, it
was like 2 or 3 activities a day.
That's
It was
wild.
a lot.
And so then, yeah, we basically just...
We need to mention the Davina, the Davina McCall
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
We were really inspired by this clip that we saw of Davina McCall, which was basically saying that she, even in her position, she's been in this game for how long? I mean, she's been presenting for like 20 years or longer than that. I think.
200, I think.
Yes, Lord knows.
Yeah.
She's Tutankhamun at this point. But she was basically...
Poor Davina.
In it. No, we love you, Davina.
Yeah, we do.
Honestly,
Yeah,
we
we
really do.
Was it when she was on the Diary of a CEO?
Yeah.
Yes.
CEO? Yeah.
And she was basically saying, even to this day, she's consistently pitching ideas. And I think you almost have this thought that people at that
She wouldn't
level
need to.
don't need to.
Yeah.
They just get
Things
everything
come to
brought
you.
to them.
Because she pitched that idea for that My Mum, Your
Love
Dad.
Island.
Yes.
Love
Yeah,
Island
yeah,
for
yeah.
older people.
Yeah. And she basically was like, I had this idea, it was burning in me to tell someone, and I've been pitching it non-stop, and I just thought, I'm going to pitch it until someone grabs it,
Yeah.
because nobody cares more about your idea than you do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we sent it to each other, and we had this big emotional phone call with each other, and we were just like...
I started crying.
Yeah, we both
Really?
cried.
And
We
I
actually
don't
both
cry.
But we were both just like, what are we doing waiting for somebody
100%.
to care enough about
Yeah.
this? Like, we do just
We're
need to do it
fortunate enough to be
ourselves.
able to, it's not just if we could fund this, it would be great. We were like,
Yeah.
well, we can, so just pull our fingers out.
Yeah.
So we did. And then, it's been sick because for us, it's one of them things where at absolute worst, it doesn't go anywhere from what it is. It just we had a brilliant time. It shows to the world what we're capable of.
Also,
And-
and what a time capsule to have.
100%.
Like literally, like we have all our TikToks and everything. That I was there in the room, like I said, at the premiere, and it was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Like, also being in a room full of people that get you to and that
Yeah.
understand
That was what was
it.
wild. Yeah.
It was so brilliant from start to finish. Just the energy in the room, but also like watching you two just be yourselves. It was the stupidest, dumbest shit
So
I've ever
stupid.
seen, but it's brilliant.
And this is thank you. And this is what we agreed on was like we could either kind of water it down, not say our stupid little asides and whatever, and try and hit a more mainstream
tries to be like
market.
TV presenter.
Right.
100%. And then we were like, but then if it happens to flop, then we've not been our authentic selves. And if it does well, then every time we're like, so how much do we have to water ourselves down, whatever. Whereas we were like, we are self-funding. We're never going to be in a situation with this much control where we own everything. We own
Also-
the title of the show, we own the concept, the lot. It's not because a brand said, please, can you mention this thing? Or because a streamer has said, oh, well, we've got this audience. We
Or
could
can you do a bit
whatever we
less
want.
swearing? You need to take
Yeah.
this out.
Right.
You need to,
Also, you may never be at a point in your lives where you have like nothing tying you down.
Right.
Like, you could like in 10 years' time, who's to know
Right.
how many like kids
Right.
in foreign countries that Ash will have with multiple
I
fathers from
already
around
have
the
30
globe.
Well, yeah.
in Austria alone.
So it felt right. And
Yeah.
like we said at the premiere, I think you hear a lot about people saying, oh, it's been a labour of love, you know, like directors of films and stuff, whatever. And you're like, yeah, all right. And I'm like, oh, I actually get it now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we have been so hands-on with the edit. Like our Sai, the producer, is amazing. And literally every other second, it'll be like, can you just trim this by 0.01 seconds because
Yeah.
it's not funny.
You know, when it's like your baby,
Yeah.
you're so, and to the point where I was like, are we being too anal? Like,
Right.
we had gone back
Never.
and forth for months. Never too much anal. We had gone back and forth forever.
Subtlety, Ash's favourite art.
Being exactly what Jack said, like, cut this. Can we have this 1 decibel lower in volume? Like, there was so much that we just kept back and forthing on.
And I think learning wise, actually now, as much as I'm proud that we did that, knowing how YouTube works and seeing that the majority of the comments, like literally the most common, over 50% of the comments have been, this is too short, we want it longer, which is obviously a really nice thing to hear because our big fear was that people would be like tuning out and it would drop off. But it's helpful to have done all that to then go to that extreme to know now for future that it's almost
People
like, great,
don't
we don't have to
care
edit as
that
much.
much. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
nobody enjoys editing.
Yeah.
So, it's just, we've been really excited. As of this recording, 2 of the episodes are out.
Yeah.
And where can people find
And
it?
more to come. So the Jack and
On
Ash
the
show on
tube.
YouTube.
On YouTube.
The Jack and Ash
Yeah.
show. And we have already, as of last week, decided what the next step is going to be. Can't necessarily say yet. We'll just say subscribe to the older YouTube. But there's going to be more videos on there. I think it's going to be that there'll be a week after the last episode of the travel show bit. And then we will pick back up with some
Oh my
more
god! Oh,
content
that's
for the
amazing.
YouTube.
But
I'm
we
so
want to
happy
be
hear that.
consistent.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. Unfortunately, as we know, consistency is key as much
Yeah.
as we
Yeah.
would like to not have to be consistency all the time. Honestly.
Oh,
We're
well,
gassed about it.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so
we
happy for
really
you
are.
both. And I remember when you told me about it like months ago because you went like quite a
September,
while ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
September, 6 months ago. Yeah, it was 6
I
months
was
ago.
just so excited for it then, and seeing it, it really did deliver. So
Yeah.
make sure you watch it, guys.
Well done, guys.
It's so
We're
good.
so glad that the niche little humour actually worked
Yeah.
as well. We were
It
like,
is
this
so
could
dope.
so easily tank.
But it's almost like if you watch people having as much fun as you two are having, even
Yeah.
if you don't get all the references, you still find it
Yeah,
enjoyable.
I actually never even worried about that. Like my main
Really?
thing, it might not do well. Like it might not. I never expected it to be like huge on viewership, but I knew that anybody who came onto it because they liked us wouldn't be disappointed.
And
Yeah.
that,
I
but that-
100%
but
knew
that's how like a YouTube channel starts. If
Right.
you come
Yeah.
in and your first thing is just like, say if you got 1,000 people that watched it, and every single one of those 1,000 people enjoyed it,
and tells their mates because they enjoy it that much.
the next thing
It's
it
also
just
like
keeps
they're your
going.
core
Yeah.
audience
And I'm
'cause they
confident
care,
enough, like
yeah.
it's not a cockiness in that regard. I know that we do well,
Yeah.
as in like if you enjoy us, that's an exact product that represents us.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect you. I don't want you to be
100%.
someone
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
expected to be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But the people that do enjoy our content will 100% enjoy
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
which is a really nice feeling.
Well, we love it, baby. The Jack and Ash show. We love. Just before we leave, there's a little thing that I wanted to do. So obviously, as you know, this is a job interview.
Keep that off camera.
We don't have time to put in a trial shift yet, because we've been chatting for 2 hours. But it is what it
Fine.
is. But I did a bit of background
God.
research on both of you, and
Oh,
I just
no.
wanted to pull something up and ask you a question.
Are you gonna air our shit?
So,
What is this?
firstly, Jack,
Right. Oh God.
with everything that we've spoken about today, I want to know what you would tell younger Jack.
No, bye.
I want to know what you would say, what advice you would give to.
Why is
to-
your jaw in Peru? Jack.
So like I said at the start of the pod, no photos of me pre-2020 shall prosper. This is from the 6-chair challenge, I do believe.
Is it?
It is.
Oh my
Wow.
god. So
Wow.
what would right?
I would
everything that we've
say
spoken
get
about now-
Invisalign sooner than you did.
Yeah.
That's
an advert for Invisalign. Actually.
yeah,
It
I
is.
would say HD brows are a friend to no man. Find a barber who likes you. And you look quite good in pink, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You
But
look
I
happy.
would, but the general principle. Sorry, please, pray tell. Other
Yeah.
than my appearance,
What would you if you had any advice for that person there who's on X Factor,
sure.
is thinking, oh my god, I'm about to be, doing this and that.
Yeah.
What would your advice be? Because similar people might be listening.
Yeah,
right now.
no, for sure.
Pre-Invisalign. Yes.
Yeah, other mingers might be watching this. And let me tell you, baby, it gets better.
Yeah.
Do you know, I just feel really lucky that it sounds so cliche, but like I genuinely do what I love for a living. And I am always myself, and whether that's for better or for worse, I find a lot of the time people who aren't in our industry will often say to me, particularly like my mates from home and stuff, like, oh, have you ever met people who are arseholes? Like, what are the worst stories when you're at these events and stuff? And I'm like, I'm sure there are people who are arseholes at those events, but I just feel so comfortable in being myself and therefore attracting fun people around me that I actually don't really have horror stories to tell in that regard. Like, I just find
I always think
99% of the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
I think there are certain industries within content and whatever. So like, I know sometimes there are some like fast fashion girlies who are like, oh, everyone's really bitchy at those
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
events, which I can imagine maybe that's not
Yeah.
my lane. But I just think it's maybe a boring piece of advice, but like, being yourself. It's that whole like
100%.
no one else
Yeah.
can be more you than you or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Like we just so strongly believe in that
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
ourselves, and it's reaped rewards.
I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. Like the second that I actually put my real personality on the internet
Yeah.
and stopped trying to like get a good angle
Yeah.
or like
Or do like telephone voice, but in the equivalent of content of
literally.
like speak
oh my
this way.
god!
da-da-da-da.
If you literally look at my old videos,
Yeah.
Ooh, don't do
my
that.
voice. First of all, my accent is so much thicker.
Yeah.
Hello,
And it's like
darkness,
12
my
decibels lower than what it actually is, because subconsciously I was probably thinking, oh my god, I hate my voice.
Well,
Like
all gays
I
hate
best
their
be like-
voice,
yeah.
don't they? Yeah.
And I can't even remember like consciously doing that,
No.
but watching it, I'm like, who even is that
Yeah.
person? And as soon as I stopped doing that, is
Yeah.
when it started to fly. So
I will say
Yeah.
as well, a lot of the opportunities that I've got are because I've been vocal about what I'm doing and what I want. So I guess the biggest piece of advice that I would tell people that's really worked for me, and we talk about it all the time, is if someone says, like, particularly in your industry or in the industry you want to be in, oh, what have you been up to? Rather than just like, oh yeah, not much, the usual, For ages before the travel show came out, I said, well, not to like, it's not boring people, but they've asked. And you go, well, I've just hosted this event. I'm doing this presenting thing soon. You don't need to tell them everything that you're up to, but like, Ash and I have just filmed this travel show. We're so excited about it. And then next thing you know, we've got people going, oh, we'd love to sponsor that. Oh, I noticed you're doing some more hosting. Would love to have you in for this. It's not about gloating or boasting about what you're doing, but if you aren't telling people what you're up to, they aren't able to then go into other rooms and think, oh, you've just mentioned something about hosting. Jack's just said he's really enjoying doing
Yeah.
hosting at the moment.
Definitely.
So I'm feeling like a lot of opportunities are coming. A, because I'd like to think I'm all right at them, but B, because I'm publicising the fact that I'm doing them.
definitely.
No one can be aware of what you're up to if you're not shouting it. From
And
the
I
rooftops
used to
on
feel
show.
super imposter syndrome about doing that.
I still do to an extent.
Yeah, I think you might always to a degree if you're just someone who finds that a bit uncomfortable. I'm very much that person that's like, yeah, good, done.
Yeah.
And it just does not exactly what Jack's saying. It doesn't help anyone because one, it's not an honest answer because you're not just good. You've been doing all these things, but yeah, I completely agree. I think just being a bit ballsier with yourself and what you want to do.
Nobody has ever got anywhere through just being comfortable 100% of the time.
I also think
Yeah.
that whole the kind of mindset of the only person who controls your embarrassment is you.
Yeah.
Like someone can try to embarrass you, but you ultimately decide whether you are
That's
embarrassed.
so
Yeah.
true. That's so true.
And I've really tried to take that on recently and be like, almost sometimes there are some people who you might be like, God, they're a bit delusional. And like, obviously I am almost glad for anxiety to an extent because it stops me being completely delusional. Like there is a point. But for 99% of people, they've got more anxiety than they need and less delusion than they need.
Yeah.
I honestly think it would help us all to have another cup of delusion.
100%.
Yeah,
Because
I
who's it,
agree.
as long as you're not hurting anybody else, what's
Yeah.
the worst thing? Okay, you've got a
Yeah.
bit of an inflated sense of self and you think you're going to be further wrong than you are, but I can guarantee it's going to help you get closer to where you want
You
to
know
be.
that really cliche, like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It really is that. Like you can have so much going for you, but just not have that mindset to
Yeah.
want to really put yourself out there. And meanwhile, someone who's actually nowhere near as good at your job as you are is reaping rewards.
There
on
are
it
some-
and flying.
There are some people in our industry who I wouldn't objectively, that wouldn't spring to mind if someone said who's the best person at this job.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
And yet they're getting loads of opportunities
Say
because
names.
they back themselves.
yeah.
Max Balegde.
Yeah, 100%.
No, but
right here.
as in
Air them out.
and it's got to a point
Yeah.
with me where I don't look at that and think like, oh God, that's not fair because they're doing these things. I think good for them.
No, I
because
think
I
they're
actually
smashing it.
don't
Why
think
didn't
that
I
they're
think of that?
necessarily amazing.
Yeah.
But they're maximizing what potential they have because they're ballsy. And I've completely changed my mindset on that
Yeah.
now and gone,
Yeah.
well, what can I do except respect that?
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
also
yeah.
you can look at that and see it as an opening for you to be like, if that person's doing it and I
don't think they're
feel like
amazing.
I could do, not in any disrespectful way, but could do as good if not a better job.
100%.
then
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping me from
100%.
Definitely. Well,
Don't you
on
dare,
that
don't you
note,
dare, don't you dare.
speaking of delusion, if Ash needed a cup of delusion, then Mama, it's
Then
coming
here she
piping
is.
hot. No, Ash, what would you say?
I hate you. I hate you.
to
because-
your,
To Hagrid.
what would
Do you know what she's
say?
singing there as well?
Guys.
What?
It's in the drum like I'm the DJ. I like the dirty rhythm you play. That was the song that they made him
Guys,
sing.
can I
know.
just hand me that?
What would
lip?
you say? What would you sing?
What would you sing to that
We would
person?
say,
What would I?
What would you say to that girl right
go
there?
to Fenty and get a better foundation match, which thank God she's now
I
had.
would say Mad Eye Moody's looking well. As in, I literally, guys, I got called Mad Eye Moody all over Twitter
Mad Eye
when
Moody?
this aired. Yeah,
'Cause,
because my eyes were not well.
Really?
Yeah. And
How did you fix them?
I didn't.
We don't really understand it. It just on the show looked
Just
like
particularly on this day.
one of them was in Watford and one of them
My
was in
eyes
London.
just
I've never
went-
thought your eyes are anything other than dead on.
Which I think they
No,
are.
but-
Yeah.
What a compliment.
Right.
Which generally I think
That's
they
dead on
are.
eyes.
No wonder he doesn't get many
Shit.
girls.
Apparently not. Yeah. No.
Wow, your
She
eyes
had
look
hate.
dead on
She had
today.
one eye on the judges and one eye on the competition.
It was, and it worked.
It still failed.
Keeping an eye on
Maybe I need
Dermot.
to get a little bit more of her back in me, actually,
Yeah, there you
because
go.
she had her eyes on every piece of the prize.
Checking if the KFC was here already.
What would I say? Do you know what? I mean, it's very much just echoing everything that Jack's been saying, really. We've been talking about this a lot recently. I used to think about what my old Instagram was. It was actually
Thottery.
madness, as in thottery.
Harry
but
Thotter.
like, it was just me not being me.
Yeah,
I only
same.
cared. Yeah, as in the same way that
Thottery.
all yours
Yeah.
was just thought shit.
me naked.
All I cared about was how I
Were
looked.
perceived.
Yeah, perceived, but not even because I still wanted to be perceived as a bubbly, funny person. And my Instagram did not reflect that at all. Nothing about me reflected that. And I remember I used to go out onto shoots or do stuff, and people used to go, God, you're not what I expected you to be. And I remember I used to take a bit of offense to it. I was like, what do you mean? What, you can't have thought shit photos and be funny? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, right. Cool. And then I just realised, why am I trying to be this person that I just so clearly am
I feel
not?
like out of like most of the people I've met in my life, you take yourself so unseriously.
Yeah.
Like you really do.
Yeah.
But like you still
As
are
in,
like...
you need to change. Be a bit more serious.
No, but like,
Sort
Stop
of shit
pissing
out.
about.
no, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like if I was to walk past you, I would maybe by the way that you look, I would assume that you were maybe a bit into yourself just because you are so beautiful. Thanks. But
Not
like
here.
No.
Exhibit A doesn't.
No, but like you dress so well. Like
I think it's also
and then
harder for
you are,
girls
like,
to do
the-
sometimes.
Oh,
like gay guys, we're
100%.
used to being like,
Right.
well, I'll be the butt of the joke before someone can
Yeah.
say something homophobic and be a dickhead. Like
Yeah.
growing up, it is more impressive. I
you
totally
are
agree.
100% like one of the most like your humor. Your first thought is always like self-deprecating,
Yeah,
and like
oh.
being on the joke,
Yeah, I
which
agree.
we love, as we
1,000,000%.
all are. And I feel like that's why, like as a group, we kind of like gel together.
Yeah.
But I think that you.
That's why the gays love you, is what he's
Yeah,
saying.
that's why the gays love you. Yeah, as a group.
Mama.
As a collective of homosexuals.
But it's so great though, and I'm so glad that you got the opportunity to see it through that lens and just let it all go and
No,
be like,
that's
do you know what,
really
who gives a
sweet.
shit? Because
Yeah.
like everything that you get, you so deserve. Not Jack, just you.
Yes,
yeah, of
totally
course. Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
He doesn't
100%.
deserve a morsel.
No, both of you, and it's so like it is what you put out there is what you get back, and that is so clear. So
That was really lovely.
thank you. I'm a very nice person.
Also, I think I would also
Ditto.
say it's okay to you. Ditto.
What was he saying?
What time is it? I would also say it's fine to change your mind on what you want to do.
100%.
That's not a cop out.
In your early
not, oh, I
20s,
failed.
nobody should know what they want to do for the rest of
No.
their life.
We
Nobody.
still don't like.
Don't fully know.
I don't have
like,
a clue what I'm doing.
and
every
explore,
year it shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
explore every avenue, you know. And if you do something and you're like, shit, I've been banging on all year about how I wanted to do this, and now I've done it, and I'm shit at it. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Like, reinvent yourself again.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally, there is no cap on how many times.
Like you
I
said,
think that
no
about
cap.
quitting in general and
No
a lot
cap.
of stuff. Like when people are like, oh, I could never possibly drop out of uni, I'll upset my parents. If you're having a hellish time.
I dropped out of 2 unis.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl.
Good for you.
Where'd you get your uni from, girl?
Like obviously there is a level. Like some stuff people need to see through and not to be like, rah, I didn't like it for a day.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the time people are afraid because of embarrassment. And it's like it's more embarrassing to carry on with something for 3 years
100%.
than
That
have
you
got a head
hate.
start somewhere
There are
else 3 years
There are
prior.
people
Yeah.
in life that have done the same job for like 30,
And they have
40
and then
years.
they have a midlife
And
breakdown.
then they die.
Crisis.
And
or also
then
die.
that's the end.
But like, live your life.
Yeah.
Right, like
it-
T.I. and Rihanna said.
Yeah, we are all like, and Ash sang it. I'm sure.
Keep on getting your piss and keep on clapping.
With one eye on a bargain bucket and one eye at Simon Cowell.
But I feel like we're all like the living embodiment of
Yeah.
we
Shite.
just took a risk one day
Yeah.
and here we are, baby.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
go for
I
it.
will also say that it's not just as easy as just taking a risk. Because
No.
No. We're all very lucky in the like that we had
We're all
the
really fit,
opportunity
sexy.
to take the risk.
Oh right, okay, yeah,
Whereas
that too.
a lot of
agree.
people are just unfortunate enough.
Yeah.
They do have that job, but they can't.
The
For sure.
And they can't see a way out of
joking.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
completely
I agree. But I think there's a lot that if you are actually asked about doing something, you can like do things on the side and all that kind of. I had like
Yeah.
4 jobs at one point at the
Yeah.
same time.
Oh, I can't tell you how much I hated the club scene while I was in it. Like, I was like, what am I doing here? And I kept thinking like,
Yeah.
but I'm destined for greatness.
And what are
And
my
why
other
am I still?
options?
Yeah.
Wait, one last question before we sign off. I know
Go
this
on.
episode has been so long. Sorry, just a really quick. So you used to work at the Box
Yeah.
as a dancer, and you once danced for Usher, didn't you?
Yes.
What was that like?
So lit. Usher is everything you want him to be
Really?
and more. As in, they
Love
say, don't meet your heroes, meet Usher.
Yeah.
10 times over, and then get him to sing you a song a cappella. He's so tea.
I love that.
Like, he was thanking all the dancers at the end, being like, thank you so much for coming out. You know, like, he
Yeah,
even
yeah.
talks cool. And you're
Oh my
like,
God.
I'm like, is that put on? Like, how do you sound like that? thank you all so much for coming out. I really appreciate you guys. We were like, you're Usher.
Yeah.
What? Like, why are you thanking us?
That's crazy.
Are you joking? Yeah, he was unreal.
He
honestly.
seems like it. He really
Yeah.
does. And do you know what? I've loved this episode. I've loved this episode so much.
It was tea.
Where can they find you?
Prison. Yeah. Prison, honey. Insta, TikTok, at Ash Holme.
At Ash Holme.
Jack Remington, 2 M's, not like the hair straighteners. And
The travel
Jack and Ash
show
show.
is YouTube, The Jack and Ash Show.
Lovely.
Write it down. Tell your mum, tell your granddad, tell your aunt, tell your dog.
Indeed. And if they enjoyed this episode, what can they do, George?
Well, if you enjoyed and you are watching, make sure to like, subscribe, ring our notification bell so you are notified every time that we upload. If you are listening, give us a 5-star rating and download us so you can listen to us on the go.
He's
And
done that before.
He has, and if you would like
My
to send in a
God.
dilemma, please do so via our email at theuselesshotlinepodcast@gmail.com or via our Instagram at theuselesshotlinepod. And until next time...
Period.